The King is gone, but the memory of last night's tough loss to King Felix and the Mariners remains. The witching hour is at hand for Astros pitching, as Bo Porter desperately needs a strong start from Bud Norris to get the team and the fans smiling again. Time to pick up the pace and punch back. Astros baseball starts now. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Comcast Sportsnet Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight is Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Astros and the Seattle Mariners. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Roof is closed tonight. We may have rain later on. Well, King Felix did a job, and the Seattle Mariners won the opener of this series last night. Now the Astros want one of those starts for themselves.
They certainly have good reason to want one. They haven't gotten many. In fact, that starting staff's second least number of innings in the major leagues, and only because the Minnesota Twins have played 4 less games do they have less innings. But it has been taking its toll on the bullpen as well.
It really has, as you see. 79 2/3 innings. That's the most relief innings last, in other words, in terms of fewest relief innings pitched in the majors with that 5-14 record. And actually, it could have been worse. But tonight, the ball goes to Bud Norris, and he's going to try to get everything on a different track starting tonight.
It's time for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bud Norris, 4 starts already. 2 have been really good. 2 have been bad. One of those rather horrendous for Bud Norris. But the thing is, as he has the 2-2 record, the 2 losses coming against Oakland. You look a little deeper, Oakland runs a lot of left-hand batters up at the plate, and Bud Norris has miserable numbers against left-hand hitting this year, while he is very good against the right-handers. The other thing about Bud Norris, if you look back to last year, he loves pitching here at Minute Maid Park. So if you combine the chance to pitch here at home and maybe face some right-handed bats, it figures to set up nicely for Bud.
That's exactly the format for tonight's game. Hope you'll stay tuned. We have much more coming up as Bo Porter visits with Julia Morales. He'll tell us more in depth about the Astros in just a moment.
Astros hosting the Mariners in the second of a 3-game series, and I am with skipper Bo Porter, who, you know what, we talked a lot about Bo in the first series. As the season started, your first year as manager. We haven't really talked about you since, so we're going to bring it back around. I know you hate talking about yourself.
Yes, I absolutely do.
But I do want to ask you, now that you've got a few games under your belt, have you learned anything about yourself or about the game as the season's progressed?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's when you think back, about the things in which we talked about in spring training, about break points, about, attacking the strike zone, pitching ahead in the count. When you look at, some of the games in which we've fallen short, all of those things are prevalent. They're evident, they show up, and again, I've said this many times, a game may go into the loss column, but I actually think that as a team, we're learning how to win.
Bud Norris going tonight for the Astros. What is it about Bud that leads you to believe that he can put his last start behind him and move forward? So maybe we can see the old Bud tonight.
Well, the fact that you use the word old, which means that he's been around for a while. He has history, he has a track record, and he's pitched at a high level in this league. And bad starts are a part of this game. Guys that have the ability to move past those bad starts, in which, Bud Norris has had bad starts before in his career, and he's come back from those bad starts, and he has been tremendous for this organization. And we will expect him to give us a quality start tonight.
Please don't tell him I called him old.
No, he's not old.
He is not old. I do want to mention defense. Defense has been incredible so far this season. How important has that and their confidence in their defense been to this club?
Well, I think it's been extremely important, and that's why, we stress to our pitchers the fact that we've played so well defensively. The more often you make the other team put the ball in play, especially early in the count, it keeps the defense on their toes. They're able to make, all the plays, and our defense has done a tremendous job of making the plays, and that's why I think it's important for our pitchers to understand how important contact is, more importantly, early contact.
Thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Bo Porter, that's the skipper. Coming up, the Astros defense continues to shine. Can they match it with offense? And the guy on the mound, Bud Norris, toes the mound for the Astros when we return.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Whataburger. Try Whataburger's new Monterey Melt with jalapeno ranch today for a limited time only. There is a threat of rain about 9 o'clock tonight, we are told. For that reason, the roof is closed, even though it is a nice evening outside right now. The Astros take the field, and they have one more game remaining in this homestand after this one. That's tomorrow. It's a day game with a 1:10 start. We'll be on the air at 12:30 with Astros pregame live. For that one, that'll be Lucas Harrell and Joe Saunders tonight. These fans here to see the Astros and Mariners play Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Astros, as they take the field, have lost 8 of their last 9. And the Mariners are 1-3 on a road trip, which started by getting swept in Texas before they came here. Here's the starting lineup now for Eric Wedge's Seattle Mariners. Andy Chavez leads it off in center field. Kyle Seager, with an 11-game hitting streak, follows at third base. It's Kendrys Morales, the DH. Michael Morse in right field. Justin Smoke at first base. Raul Ibanez in left field. Jesus Montero, the catcher. Dustin Ackley at second base. Brendan Ryan, the shortstop. That's 9.
28-year-old Bud Norris on the hill for the Astros. Right-hander had a little bit of a rough one last time out. One of the 2 losses he's taken at the hands of the Oakland A's. Lasted just 2/3 of an inning, and you can see the numbers. Those didn't help the numbers overall very much on the season. Clearly, he's been great against right-hand hitters and not so great against left-hand hitters this year. And again, the Oakland A's have been his nemesis. On the defensive side, behind Bud Norris, behind the dish, it'll be Jason Castro. Around the infield, from first around, Carlos Pena, Jose Altuve, Marwin Gonzalez, and he's been hooking up very nicely with Altuve. Matt Dominguez back in at third base. In the outfield, Justin Maxwell in center, flanked by Rick Ankiel in right, and Chris Carter in left.
Bo Porter's club with that 5-14 record, ready to go at the Seattle Mariners, and the Astros did a nice job in winning 2 of 3 at Seattle on the last road trip. Now the Mariners have come out, and behind their ace, King Felix Hernandez, who won his 100th for his career, won the opener of this series last night 7-1. Eric Wedge's club scoring runs last night at a good pace, including 3 home runs, banged out a dozen hits. Now Bud Norris against Andy Chavez to start this game. And last night Franklin Gutierrez was placed on the disabled list. Bud at home is 18-15 in his career with a 3.50 ERA. On the road, quite a different story. 12-24 with a 5.43. But that road game on the last trip at Anaheim, the 5-0 win for Bud over the Angels, brought a really good start from him. 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball. He had great tilt on his slider in that one. So we'll see which version we get tonight as Chavez leads it off. And he looks at strike one. Chris Guccione's the home plate umpire. Chavez filling in now in center field for Gutierrez, who was placed on the disabled list after that hamstring injury last night. Andy at 241 has driven in a couple. Came off the bench and played last night. Well, he was in the starting lineup last night. There's a fly ball to left center field. Maxwell over. And Maxwell handles it. Out number 1. So the Mariners have called up outfielder Carlos Peguero to replace the injured Gutierrez. It's Chris Guccione, Tom Hallion, Phil Cuzzi, and Ron Culpa and this umpiring crew. Here's a hot Mariner, Kyle Seager. Seager with an 11-game hitting streak. That's a career high for him. Second longest active hitting streak in the American League, behind Jacoby Ellsbury's 12 for Boston. Batting average .276, 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. And last night he had a good night of it with 2 hits, a single, and a 2-run homer in 5 at bats. That's strike 1 for Norris.
That bottom of the knees range right there has been great for Bud, especially in that game you mentioned against Anaheim. Look at this figure, and this figures to work nicely here in the first inning, getting Chavez as the leadoff man. 13 innings without a run against him when he does get that leadoff hitter.
Seager has 10 doubles to lead the American League. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Last time in Oakland, Bud Norris went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 5 hits and 6 runs. He walked 3 and just didn't seem to be able to get a feel for the ball. His pitches were usually high. He had major problems getting the ball down. That's up, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. This is the first time he has faced the Mariners in his career.
Norris twice on what appeared to be changeups, checking his hand as if to say, boy, you've betrayed me. Hold on to that baseball a little bit better than that.
His mound opponent, Iwakuma, also has had problems with his hand, blister problems, and they forced him out of his last start. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Bud. Astros starting pitchers as a group have won 4. They've lost 11 with a 6.17 ERA. Bud has won 2 of those 4.
Kyle Seager led these Mariners in home runs a year ago and in RBIs. And I don't imagine many baseball fans are very familiar.
Grounded to first. Here's Pena with a flip to Norris. 2 outs. You're right, especially those in Houston.
They'll become familiar. This guy's a good-looking hitter and plays third base well.
Pena took care of that one, and Kendrys Morales will follow. Norris and Matt Dominguez there by the mound. Dominguez sat out last night's game. He had a left elbow that was bothering him a little bit. He said he was fine to play, but he had been hit by a pitch the day before. Morales had 250 with 2 homers, has driven in 8. One of those homers came last night in the 5th inning. He also had a single and a walk last night. And looks at ball 1 with Michael Morse on deck. Mariners are 12th in runs scored in the American League. It's 2-0 to Morales. Morales had some good credentials coming from Cuba to the Angels. Coming back from that injury also very well. Hit 22 homers last year. Now it's 3-0 to him.
First inning doesn't always, sometimes not even often, tell the story of a ball game for a pitcher, but this first inning is a little back and forth for Bud, trying to find that consistent release point.
Well, the first inning quite often could be a bugaboo for a starting pitcher. And if you can make those first inning adjustments, it has a lot to do with how the game goes generally. 3-1.
One thing's for sure, you don't want to get that 3-0, 3-1 type count and facing the 3-4-5 type hitters in the lineup.
Now Morales will be trying to zone in on something here on 3-1. And he takes ball 4. That's his 11th walk of the season. And he brings up Michael Morse. Morse is more of a free swinger than Morales. Morse with 6 homers, 10 runs batted in, brings some power, and batting average not where he'd like it to be at .214 after he hit .291 last year. He's a .295 career hitter in the big leagues. He came in a trade to Seattle in January. It was a 3-way deal involving Washington and Oakland. Slider hits the outside edge, and there's strike 1 for Norris. Morse is 1 for 14 against Houston.
We took a look at the batting grip of Michael Morse last night and how he kind of employs ultimately kind of a golf grip. He starts out with multiple fingers laid on top of the right hand, then kind of settles into that Barden overlap grip. And I'm told it's not because of the recent fracture to that baby finger on the right hand. It's a grip that he's employed for a long time.
Okay. He was hit on the right hand and missed 3 games just about a week ago. That's in for a strike. 1-2 for Bud Norris. He just clipped the corner with that one. 15 pitches into the game for Bud.
That's your major league strike. That's exactly what pitchers are trying to do. Throw it right on the outside black or the inside black.
Morse checks his swing. The appeal went to first. He did not go. Tom Hallian with a call. He's the crew chief. 2-2.
Tough slider down and away. One of those tough ones to lay off, and that bat comes pretty close to going through.
Morse was drafted by the White Sox in 2000. 3rd round pick from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's looping into shallow center field for a hit for Morse. Morales will check in at second base and stop there. 2 on, 2 outs now for Justin Smoak.
Well, with 2 outs, that's really station to station base running by Kendrys Morales. Generally speaking, guys are going to go first to third with 2 down on this looping single. Just tie him up. Little fister into center field. Of course, Morse very strong.
Morales had no thoughts of going anywhere but second base on that. Now Smoke, who was 2 for 3 with an RBI and drew a walk last night, checks in at 208 for this game with 4 runs batted in. Smoke had an RBI single in the first inning when Seattle took a 1-0 lead against Brad Peacock last night. Smashes this line drive to right. One hopper to Ankiel. Stop sign at third for Morales, and the throw comes in on one hop. A good call by the Seattle third base coach, former Astro farmhand Jeff Datz, with Ankiel's arm and with the lack of speed of the base runner Morales.
What a break for Bud Norris and the Astros that there is not a run on the board already, and maybe runners at first and third, even possibly second and third. Again, that you go back to the previous single, and Morales stopping at second base really set up this whole scenario. Great arm from Rick Ankiel in right field.
Yeah, that reputation might have saved a run there, and then there is Morales, who is the very definition of a station-to-station base runner. Ibanez 174 with 2 homers, has driven in 5. Hit a home run in Seattle, and he went 3 for 5 in that series. When the Astros were there, there's ball 1 to him on the slider. Raul, 41 years old in early June, is the elder statesman of this club. 327 with the bases loaded for his career. 10 grand slams for Ibanez. That's a good pitch. 1-1.
This is not a guy you want to challenge right here, and we haven't often seen him really cut it loose yet this season, but you get a glimpse right there. That one hop throw, he keeps it down so well.
The Mariners as a team are 0 for 8 with the bases loaded this year. Up the middle, shortstop's right there. Marwin Gonzalez with the throw, and there's a stretch by Pena for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, 3 men stranded, no score. To be at second base. Then it's Fernando Martinez, the DH, Jason Castro, the catcher, Chris Carter in left field, Carlos Pena at first base, Justin Maxwell in center field, Rick Ankiel in right field, Matt Dominguez at third base, Marwin Gonzalez at shortstop.
Hisashi Iwakuma, the right-hander working for Seattle. They picked him up last year, and he has been brilliant since joining these Mariners. Look at the numbers this year. Just 12 hits allowed in 26-plus innings, 18 strikeouts. He has a terrific splitter, and guy has been almost as good as Felix Hernandez, and that should tell you a lot. Behind Iwakuma, doing the catching for Seattle, Jesus Montero. Around the infield, Justin Smoke, Dustin Ackley, Brendan Ryan, and Kyle Segura. And in that outfield, center fielder Andy Chavez, flanked by Michael Morrison right and Raul Ibanez in left. Not a lot of speed there in the corners in the outfield.
Iwakuma is third in ERA in the American League at 1.69, behind Clay Buchholz of Boston and Matt Moore of Tampa Bay. Terrific start for the veteran And he is 32 years old, from Tokyo. Pitched for 11 years in the Central League in Japan. Then he signed prior to last season a 2-year deal with Seattle. Jose Altuve at 377 has the third best batting average in the league. He has 1 homer. He's driven in 9. 8-game hitting streak for Altuve. His career high is 9. And there's ball 1. Fastball usually arrives at about 90. That one at 87 for Iwakuma.
When you combine just those 12 hits allowed and 2 walks allowed, his whip is the lowest in the league right now at just over a half a runner an inning.
Again, Altuve looks over the heater, and it's ball 2.
Strikes out 9 to every man he walks. Terrific numbers put up.
Altuve last night went 1 for 4. That's in for a strike, and it's 2-1.
Take a look at some of those numbers that Iwakuma's flashing on the season. Third best ERA among starters. There's that walk to strikeout per innings pitched. Just starting to put up terrific stats.
Morse in right field. 1 out for Iwakuma. His numbers are just glittering in just about every department. Fernando Martinez is next. Left-handed hitters are hitting 109 against Iwakuma. Right-handers 163.
The early read, though, would be that Iwakuma can't put you away with the fastball. It's kind of even below average in the major leagues, but the other stuff, and that splitter in particular that he goes to when he gets ahead, just dominant.
Fernando Martinez now playing for the 3rd straight game is 1 for 6 with a homer. There's strike 1 to him. He went on the disabled list near the end of spring training. Had to go through an injury rehab assignment. Came back and homered on the first pitch to him. That was Sunday against Cleveland, a 2-run shot. That one goes foul, and it's 0-2.
Goes the fastball about 54% of the time. We saw the first pitch fastball there at 87 and taken all the way by Martinez. I don't know that I buy into that ploy, but that changeup or the splitter is really the dominant pitch for this right-hander.
Last time out, he shut out Detroit for 6 innings, but got a no decision. That one comes up and hits Martinez, but Iwakuma left the game. He had a blister problem on his right hand in that last start.
And you could see it was that change or splitter. It comes out of the splitter grip. That last pitch and the way it tries to dive, he got it started up a little bit. But when he has 2 strikes, he will turn to that pitch as he did here to Martinez.
And he gets a strikeout.
And that's why I'm not sure that I buy into the philosophy of, well, let's go ahead and try to work the count, take that early fastball that I would think would be quite hittable, and then you get left trying to deal with this thing.
Right. Because he's established that he throws strikes.
That's right. Again, just 2 walks on his brief season to this point. You get that kind of a pitch working, and it's just deceptive as can be on the hitters.
Jason Castro had 2 doubles last night. Has 6 doubles for the season. That's tied for first among American League catchers. 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. He looks at that one, and it's ball 1. Iwakuma had that abbreviated start, even though a very successful 6 shutout innings against Detroit last time out. He threw 70 pitches and left with the blister on his pitching hand. It's 2-0 to Castro. Castro is 7 for 16 against Mariners pitching this season. Last year, Iwakuma was 9-5 for the Mariners. He had a 3.16 ERA. He gets a call there, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Mariners had a posting fee to a talk contract with him of $4.5 million, and they signed him to a 2-year, $13 million deal. Very nice pickup, affordable. Foul back, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count now.
He'll get through innings awfully quickly too, because as you said, Brownie, he does throw strikes. He'll try to put the ball in play. He needs this season just 12.6 pitches per inning, well below the 15 that most pitchers are trying to get to. He's tied with Andy Pettitte in that regard. Just a spectacular figure.
Chris Carter's on deck. Castro chased that one, and it's still 2-2.
He's back in 2008 in Japan playing in the Pacific League. He was the MVP, winner of what would amount to the Cy Young Award, and went 21-4 in that season. Now, that's been a while back. Seattle, I don't think, would complain about what they've gotten to this point.
Not at all. Quite a 1-2 punch with King Felix Hernandez and Hisashi Iwakuma. They've combined for a 1.91 ERA. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And they're both among the American League starters and leaders in many pitching categories. So if you're facing these 2 guys back-to-back nights, that is a real challenge for your offensive club. That's ball 4. Castro was very patient at bat. The 2-strike pitch he fouled off. Most guys would be swinging at that one, Ash, and then he just didn't see anything good to swing at after that and did not go outside the zone.
What we keep seeing from Castro is an ability to hit the ball the other way, and that feeds into what we're seeing here. You see the ball a bit longer hitting it the other way. Therefore, you can lay off pitches out of the strike zone.
Dave Clark has a customer at first. Chris Carter's the batter. Carter at 214 with 4 homers has driven in 10. Chris was 1 for 4 last night. That's strike 1 to Carter. He really exploded in the series in Seattle for the season against the Mariners. He has 9 hits and 19 at bats, 3 homers, 5 runs batted in.
That hit last night, a rather odd gift on that pop fly that dropped in center field.
Well, that snapped an 0 for 16, so he will certainly accept a gift at that point, which he did. And he rips that one into left field, past Seager. It goes almost, yes, it goes off the wall, off Ibanez's glove. Here's Castro coming to the plate. Ryan with a relay throw, and he's safe. Close play at home, 1-0 Astros, as Carter winds up at second. Ibanez couldn't stop it. It was off the end of his glove and then off the wall, and that gave Castro an opportunity to score from first.
A gutsy and, as it turns out, wise send by Dave Tremblay, the third base coach, with Jason Castro making it pay off. Good base running by the Astros catcher, and this is one of the few balls that Chris Carter has centered up for quite some while.
It's ruled a single and an error on Ibanez.
Yeah, it's a little tough. That was not an easy grab here at the base of the wall.
Good job by Castro of not breaking stride. And he beats the tag. So no RBI for Carter. It's a single. He takes second on the error, and Castro scores on the plate. And Carlos Pena with a runner at second is the batter. That's strike 1. Pena at 227 with 2 homers has 6 runs batted in. Carlos has walked 9 times, which helps him get to that 320 on base average. That was an aggressive send by Dave Tremblay, and it certainly worked out well.
One thing that's certain, with 2 outs, you must be more aggressive as a third base coach.
Absolutely. I think a lot of things factor in. This is the job of a third base coach. You factor everything in. The base runner, the outfielder, the situation, even the fact here you are facing a very tough pitcher. It's going to be difficult to score runs off this guy in any normal night, and it worked out.
And make that decision in a split second.
Right.
He says that's how big this decision on my part was to send the runner.
Ryan is on the outfield grass behind Carter as he takes his lead. Pena's down on strikes. Well, that was quite a decision, in fact, by Dave Tremblay. He helps the Astros to the first run of the game. Jason Castro scores it, sliding home ahead of that throw to make it 1-0 Houston.
second. It's 1-0 Astros. And our AT&T tweet of the game comes from Bud Norris. He says, "Gee, thanks, garbage man. You always manage to put the cans back in their original spot. Hashtag not." You see the picture there. Man, is Norris calling somebody out. I hope they're watching today. And Bud Norris on the mound for the first time since being knocked out of the game pretty early in that last outing. And I talked to Jason Castro about his pitcher, and he said he didn't like that one bit. In fact, he takes a lot of pride in going deep into ball games. And what I gathered is that it's not so much about the adjustments that he's making today. It's more about just getting back on the horse, guys.
What did the garbage man say about Bud's first inning in Oakland?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wonder if he has a Twitter account.
I think we can look that one up. I think there's got to be a way to find out whose route that is.
Well, we're moving on, and it's 1-0. And Bud, you know, the base running was so important, Ash, in that first inning. With Smoke, with that line drive single, and Morales not being able to score. And then the 2 outs end by Dave Tremblay on Castro scoring from first on Carter's single and the error by Ibanez.
Everybody wants to score first in a ball game. Percentages say when you do so, you've got a pretty considerable chance to win over going the other direction. But I don't know about Kendrys Morales if he actually has that ability to run that way anymore.
He may not from that broken ankle. Montero hit a long home run last night. 2 balls, no strikes. In fact, the longest ball hit so far this season in the early days at Minute Maid Park. And that was a blast he hit last night.
That could hold up at the end of the season.
Very impressive power display for number 1 of the season for him. Currently he's on a 5-game hitting streak. Fouled away, and it's a 2-ball 1-strike count. That was a 441-footer according to a home run tracker. Second longest home run of Montero's career, way out there last night.
Ball hit up under the 0-1 pennant there. And for me, if I projected that shot toward the 436 and straightaway center, I think it clears easily.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jesus Montero. Take a look.
Yeah, I think I got that one. Of course, you get the unusual dimensions here, and I imagine there are some moments of questioning as you're heading to first base, but let's go ahead and flex for the boys.
Fly ball to right field. Ankiel coming in. That's the way to do it. He ran hard, and then he was able to get under it. He's in for the catch.
It's Earth Week. Using household staples like vinegar and lemon to clean your microwave means you don't have to worry about heated up cleaning product residues on your food or in your air. Green is universal.
We hate to worry about those heated up cleaning product residues, whatever they are.
Yeah, I was actually looking that up while I was reading that. Didn't work so well.
Exactly. 197 has 1 RBI. So it's Earth Week. They strike 1. What do we do to celebrate?
Oh, I thought we were doing it.
A whole lot of nothing. Don't use up the earth. Ackley had 3 consecutive hits his last 3 times to the plate last night. Boy, that's a pretty good looking pitch. Bud kind of looked in after Chris Guccione called it ball 1.
I'll bring that back a 32nd of an inch and see if we can get that call.
Yeah. Not so sure that wouldn't be a good idea. You might get a call next time. Now it's going to be upstairs. And he gets a swing and a miss there from Ackley for a 1-2 count.
There's a call you don't see very often. A catcher saying, I want it up, and it's a slider. You see the fastball up and in, but boy, that's rare. Worked so well, let's try it again.
Fly ball, left field line. Carter over, and it is going to be in the seats. Still 1-2. Brendan Ryan on deck. Ackley was the 2nd player drafted in the 09 draft. And for his career, he's been a .243 hitter. He's driven in 86 runs and 940 at bats coming into this season. Oh boy! Well, cancel that. He put that one in a similar spot and didn't get a call there either. 2-2.
I need a better angle to see if he improved that by a 32nd of an inch, but Couple of pitches awfully good, but nothing to show for him.
Well, that one is in tight, and it's 3-2 to Ackley. Ackley's walked 2 times this year. You don't want to walk Ackley. Don't want to throw one over the middle to him either. That's acceptable. He hit it, and it's a clean single through the left side. Better than walking him, actually. But the pitch was up a little bit, and Ackley did a nice job of hitting as he gets hit number 3 for the Mariners.
I think the Mariners have had to be very disappointed in the way Ackley has swung the bat to this point on the season. But here in this series, starting to go with some pitches, and they're probably quite pleased. Again, the number 2 pick of the draft a few years back. The same draft that saw Steven Strasburg selected number 1.
Wow. Brendan Ryan is next. He was 0 for 4 last night. 148, no homers, 2 runs batted in. 4 for 37 against right-handed pitching for Brendan Ryan. He is playing because he is one of the top defensive shortstops in the game. He puts it in the air, and the shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez, is back a few steps. Taking care of that one for out number 2. Andy Chavez will be next.
Can you imagine going through a draft like that with Steven Strasburg and then the other guys, and you pass on him because you feel like you needed a position player or whatever, and what you must feel like a few years later, one of those rare talents. Of course, in this case, it wasn't a past job, but it's happened in the past.
Yeah. Well, if they had had the number 1 pick, and if they had taken Strasburg, just imagine what their starting rotation would look like right now.
Load him up with, well, who would be the king? That's what I want to know.
Well, Strasburg might be a prince. Chavez hit a fly ball to center his first time up. He was with Kansas City in spring training. There's strike 1. And that did not take. But then he went to AAA Tacoma with Seattle and played his way here. A good defensive player, 35 years old. He's from Valencia, Venezuela. Has more than 9 years of major league experience. He is fast. Of course, he got a chance to come up when Gutierrez had the leg problems, which have now forced him on the DL. So Chavez might be playing quite a bit, but Michael Saunders will be back soon as well. There's a strike to him, and it's 0-2 to Andy. And he went to the World Series with the Rangers in 2011.
Gets a strike call right here, but that's not really great location for your slider.
Andy has been to postseason play 3 times. He has a brother named Ender. Well, back. Sounds a little confusing in that family, Ash.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been good on chores around the house. Who knows what you're supposed to do?
Parents would really have to enunciate well. Astro and Norris talk about it. How do we finish off this pesky leadoff man who has an 0-2 count now?
Ender and Andy, huh?
Yeah. Well, last year he went back to another postseason with Baltimore.
Watch out for those O's. They're playing pretty good baseball.
They are. We just have a penchant for winning this extra inning game. Fouled away.
Yeah, how do you prepare for that? In spring training, we work hard on the extra inning game. What a miserable spring that would be.
There you have it, the AL East, the wicked AL East, and the Astros are going to Boston after the game tomorrow, and then New York. Take on 2 of the top 3 teams in that division.
All I heard for the last 6-7 years was toughest division in all of baseball, that AL East. And now a lot of people seem to feel the AL West might be that toughest of all, but Yankees are playing better than people anticipated. The Orioles are once again maybe defeating what a lot of the critics thought they might do.
Toronto's been a disappointment.
Certainly have.
8-12 in last place, and with some injuries, including their shortstop Jose Reyes.
Can't cover that one.
It's a liner into right center field. Here's Ackley headed for third base. Jeff Datz is waving him home. And here's a late throw into the plate. He's safe, and a rundown now between second and third on Chavez. And he is tagged out. The throw came into the infield, and then the run scored before Gonzalez could relay to the plate. It's 1-1. Appeared on the Astros infield.
Gapped into right center field, but the great arm of Rick Ankiel, he hits this secondary cutoff man, but you can see that effort to try to apply a tag maybe on a base runner coming his way by Marwin Gonzalez. But what you're hoping for is that you hear somebody saying home, home, home right away so that you spin and fire to the plate. And if that had taken place, you got to believe you pick up this out at the plate.
Lost his balance a little bit. And the tying run scored to make it 1-1. It's ruled an RBI double by Chavez. He is out from 8-6 to 2-5 to 6. Make it 9-6. Enfield started that play. There's strike one to Justin Maxwell. At 237, he has one homer, 5 runs batted in, 5 doubles from Maxwell. J-Max had one of those doubles last night, going 1 for 4 in the game. That's a strike, and it's 0-2 for Iwakuma. Maxwell has 5 hits and 18 at bats against the Mariners this year. That one came back over the plate and struck him out looking. Number 3.
I think right and left-hand hitters have to be very aware of this running fastball that Iwakuma possesses. You can't give up early. Hear that constantly from batting coaches. Can't give up early on this guy's fastball, and you can see how much run he gets.
Rick Ankiel now comes to the plate. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Got jammed on that one and fouled it back. There's strike one. And let's look at a long ball. He's hit 5.
Going the other way last night, and very impressive in doing so. And this could go a long way for Rick Ankiel, a guy who has struck out a rather inordinate a number of times to this point on the season.
Dominguez on deck. That's a high drive. Well hit out toward the Astros bullpen. Way back. Andy Chavez on the track. 2 outs. Andy's talking to Paul Clemens, sitting there in the Astros bullpen.
Looked like Hank got this one pretty good, and it sounded good coming off the bat. Well, he keeps his head down through the zone very nicely.
Had the feel of a home run. It's a long out, number 2. Matt Dominguez had been hit by a pitch on the left elbow Sunday and sat out last night as a precaution. 230, no homers, 5 runs batted in. He was hit by a pitch back in 2011 and it broke a bone near his left elbow. But the Astros did an MRI and didn't find any break. No ball, no strikes. He could have played last night, but it was time for a rest anyway. Brandon Laird played third.
Brandon Laird made a terrific defensive play, and I think at that moment Dominguez felt a whole lot better.
Marwin Gonzalez on deck. A lot of the Japanese pitchers do this balancing act.
Yep.
Why is that?
I don't know. I gather that it's something that's been taught to be able to stay on the back leg as long as possible, and then from that point really push off and go. And that little secondary kind of a kick of the foot. There's one, there's two. It just keeps you on the back leg.
Popped up foul, Montero over. And it's 1-2-3 in the second for Iwakuma. The game is tied 1-1. Kids every Saturday morning at 9:30 on CSN. Chevy Hometown Kids, where it's not about the score, but the experience. Well, Julia's going to have a good experience tonight with food. She's going to be sampling some food with Chef Brian Caswell. So she's in for a treat during the game tonight.
It's not fair. Where's the chef when we need him?
Well, he's been up here before. We must have alienated him.
Before must mean before me.
Before Ash. BA. Now here's Kyle Seager leading it off in the third. He grounded out from Pena to Norris covering in the first inning. 2 more postponements today, Ash. Postponements have grown to 17.
Either of these with the snow being the culprit?
We're going to check on that. Probably rain. Cleveland at Chicago against the White Sox, postponed rain. Kansas City at Detroit against the Tigers, postponed rain.
You know what, though? They had some balmy weather in Denver for the first of 2 today.
Balmy?
23 degrees.
Oh. Well, I guess they had to play because they were snowed out yesterday, right?
They also played a rather tidy game. I don't recall, around 2.5 hours, maybe a little less as I recall. But a little cold weather, motivation.
Oh, man. Braves won at 4-3. They're 14-5. The Rockies are 13-6. They're playing the nightcap. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That Atlanta club has been something else. Andrelton, Simmons, the Upton brothers.
BJ's had a bit of a rough go. Justin, the youngster, Mom always liked him best.
BJ's hitting 155. Foul ball. The Atlanta third baseman, Chris Johnson and Juan Francisco, have combined to hit 306. They have a 342 on base average and a 528 slugging percentage. So added together, that's essentially Chipper Jones.
Haven't lost a thing.
Justin Upton hit his 10th home run today. Dan Uggla, number 4. Evan Gattis, number 6.
Don't even have to buy just for men in the clubhouse.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Minor won that game, and Craig Kimbrell already has 8 saves. Morales is on deck. Seager waiting for the 2-2 pitch, now backing away. Seager's one of those guys who could really help this Seattle club by playing a lot better. In the dirt. He played well last year, as you pointed out. He was club MVP, had 20 homers, 86 runs batted in. So how much better could he play? Well, maybe not much.
Yeah, not many people, I gather, have heard a whole lot about Kyle Seager, but good looking hitter. And they feel like that he can be even better than they've seen to this point.
That's a walk leading off the inning. Spend your Cinco de Mayo at Minute Maid Park. First pitch against the Tigers is at 3:10, and 10,000 fans will receive a Los Astros t-shirt courtesy of Goya. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo Street Fest from 12 to 3 p.m. presented by Budweiser. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get your tickets now. So that leadoff walk now, the second of the game for Norris, puts him in the stretch against Kendrys Morales, who drew the first walk. Double play depth for Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve. Strike 1.
There's a good changeup. Bud's had a tough time with that pitch, hanging some breaking balls a little bit. Fastball's been pretty good, generally speaking.
Twins beat the Marlins 4-3 today. Kevin Correa going to 2-1, beating Jose Fernandez. Dribbles foul, no balls, 2 strikes. The Twins have had 3 postponements. In the 3 previous years at Target Field, they only had 5. Now they spent $545 million to move out of a dome stadium into an open air stadium.
I wonder if they could use the old dome, the Twinkie Dome.
They could
on the bad days,
but they don't want to.
I actually didn't mind that place.
No, it wasn't bad. As opposed to playing on a 23-degree day.
Yeah, the new stadium is gorgeous. Very nice place. But they just have so much of the year, the baseball season, that has the chance for very cold weather.
1-2 here to Morales. And the throw goes over. Seager has attempted 1 stolen base, and he was thrown out. Well, when Morales came back from that broken ankle, Albert Pujols was at first base. But as the DH primarily last year, he had a good year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now it appears that Pujols is going to be in for a lot of DHing unless his foot problem is cured in a hurry.
Wonder how the Angels feel about that. They're in year 2 of that 10-year deal. Is that right?
Yeah.
And now Albert Pujols is seeing numbers decline each year, although he had good numbers last year.
He did.
But that injury is one that can linger for a long time.
He has not taken a day off yet this year. How much good would rest do? Not sure. You know, maybe one day of rest wouldn't do much good at all. You probably wouldn't want to take more than that. Morales chops it to shortstop. Gonzalez shovels. Altuve across the bag, and the tag at first by Pena. Great tag by Pena for the double play on Morales.
Well, that's another beautiful double play turn by the Astros. Not a perfect throw, obviously, by Altuve. This pitch by pitch brought to you by Steele, and we can see the changeup effective, getting the swing and a miss, and Bud goes right back to it, then tries to spot the ball at the knees. The fastball runs one away, that gets away. Then it's the change once again, inducing the ground ball. And you can see that throw from Altuve, a quick release that gets away on the home plate side. Just a little extra brought to you by Steele.
Terrific tag by Pena. Now the Astros lead the American League with 25 double plays. Michael Morse, the batter. Morse, who singled to center field earlier, looks at ball one.
Gotta like what you see from Altuve and the combinations on the left side dealing with him on the double plays, but he turns a beautiful double play.
He really does. Flashed across the bag that time. It was a very difficult throwing position for him. 1-1.
As a second baseman, you deal with what you're dealt. You live with the runner coming in, and sometimes, like last night, he backed behind the bag on the left field side, let the bag protect him. This time coming across the bag. Sometimes you move to the right or center field side, so it's a game of movement there.
Line drive hit in front of the right fielder, Rick Ankiel, and Morse is 2 for 2. The Mariners are peppering hits around Minute Maid Park. They have 5, but they only have scored 1 run. They've lost a runner between second and third in the rundown. Chavez last inning just lost a man on a double play, and they failed to score on a single to right with the runner Morales at second base, stranding 3 in the first inning. Justin Smoke is 1 for 1. He hit that line drive bullet to Rick Ankiel in the first inning. Well, you know, outfielders though have that reputation with third base coaches. And that's what Rick can do for the Astros defensively with that reputation of this.
Yeah, I would say if a third base coach doesn't know about the arm of Rick Ankiel, he hasn't been paying attention at all. Yeah, and that one really wasn't the one that set up the missed opportunity for Seattle in the first inning. It was the previous base hit with 2 outs by Michael Morse, a looping soft little quail into center field that really it should take you first to third with no problem.
Smashed into the right field corner. It kicks out. Ankiel will come back to play it. And here goes Morse from first to third on the smoked single. And he really smoked it all right.
Looked at the offensive numbers for Seattle coming into this series, and they were anemic. Man for man, guys were struggling, and Smoke among them. But boy, is he starting to find it. Michael Morse came in really struggling. That's just turning on that down and in pitch and shooting it by the first baseman who was holding at the bag. No time to react. You can hear from the sound that ball was right on the money.
So sharply that Smoke was held to a single, and now first and third for Raul Ibanez with 2 outs. 6 hits for the Mariners. Ibanez grounded to shortstop with the bases loaded in the first. Here's that one outside the left field line. There's strike 1. Well, of course, everybody in Seattle knew Raul Ibanez very well from his previous stay with them. They drafted him in the 36th round in '92. Came to the big leagues in '96. And then he came back a second time from '04 through '08 and had 3 straight 100 RBI years. So as he returned this time after spending last year with the Yankees, it's his 3rd stay in Seattle. Fly ball left. Carter waiting. And again, Norris gets Ibanez with men on base. No runs, 2 hits, a double play. Made it 2 outs, nobody on. and it's 1-1. Cabrera and the reigning AL champion Detroit Tigers come to Minute Maid Park Thursday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 5th. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to get your tickets now. Iwakuma versus Norris, and it's 1-1. And Seattle has served notice with the base hits they put together, 2 in each inning, a total of 6 in this game now. The Mariners are trying to build on what they did last night with the 7-1 12-hit win. Now the Astros, who scored in the first inning on a hit and an error. Iwakuma will face Gonzalez, Altuve, and Martinez in the Astro third. Marwin Gonzalez carries a .286 batting average. That includes 2 homers, 2 doubles. He's driven in 6.
I would think come the end of the season, if you can get 280 out of Marwin with a little pop and driving in some runs, playing shortstop the way he has shown, boy, that would be a heck of a year.
Yeah. All 1 to Marwin.
Mentioned before, it looks like he has George Brett's bat from the great home run at Yankee Stadium. Pine tar all the way up to the barrel.
It's 2-0. Oh, did Brett go crazy on that one? Oh. He went berserk.
That's fun to watch every time it comes on.
Yeah, it is.
See if George is going to make himself pass out as he runs to the plate.
Fly ball right. Hit well. Over Morse. And that is a Gonzalez home run, number 3. Marwin takes the tour, and it's 2-1 Houston.
Well, we invoke George Brett, and that kind of paid off. He has been tearing Seattle and the Mariners staff up. When he was in Seattle, that bat was so quick, and these were no doubt shots, only if it stays fair. That's how quick the bat is from the left side of the plate. And now his 3rd of the season, and kind of the same old thing. Marwin Gonzalez, maybe he is one of those power-hitting shortstops.
Well, 3 home runs already, 7 runs batted in. Looking good in the power department. Altuve fouled it for strike 1.
I suggest he keep that pine tar exactly where he has it.
Yeah. Altuve hit the ball in the air to the right fielder on a 2-1 pitch. Gonzalez homer was on a 2-0 pitch from Iwakuma. Well, the number 9 hitter on many American League clubs is kind of like a leadoff man, Nash.
That is. It's you know, you have no guarantee that that guy's going to lead off any given inning, but you try to get something going, and then it turns the top of your order into maybe some small ball occasionally.
In into shallow center. Andy Chavez will not be able to make the catch on that, and Altuve now has a 9-game hitting streak.
You know, Jose Altuve, we've said it a number of times, hits a lot of balls hard. But he also has a little tendency to have a magic wand, and that's a great combination.
Sure is. That ties his career high. 9-game streak. He set that August 6th to the 14th, 2011.
You can get jammed or hit balls off the end of the bat. This is clearly a case of the former, and pick up some hits with it. You are doing something right.
That's his 30th hit. He's in the American League lead in hits. Fernando Martinez, the batter now. Calls it away. There's strike one.
Yeah, I think it's a strategy against Iwakuma. Get as many fastballs as you can to take your best hack on.
Martinez takes a strike, and Bo Porter explained why he's batting Fernando second behind Altuve. Altuve has been on base a lot. On base average .429 coming into this game. And Martinez, a left-handed hitter, can, upon occasion, pull that ball if Altuve is at first base into right field, and that sets up a short first to third situation if he doesn't double. That's against right-handed pitching, 1 and 2. Justin Maxwell has hit second quite a bit earlier this year, but this combination might work pretty well.
Nothing new about the strategy. Managers have done it for years, trying to take advantage of that hole on the right side. But you love having that leadoff man who can get on base, and Altuve has done that about as well as you can this year.
Well, that's terrific. He was tied with Torrey Hunter for first in the American League with 29 when this game started.
.430 the on-base percentage with the base hit.
You know, managers and coaches are always thinking about how to get this guy from first to third on one hit. Or if he can steal a base, that's fine. But if you have a consistent first to third attack on singles, that really sets up an inning. Bounce foul.
You know, the on-base percentage norm now, the average in the major leagues is at .317. So when you start talking .430, you're just flying way over the top of what the norm is.
That is very, very good. He was third in the league in batting average coming into this one. That .429 on base average will go a long way as well. That's a liner over shortstop. Altuve gets to second, and he's going to go to third. Andy Chavez throw tails on him and into second base. Martinez is safe. That's the kind of attack Bo Porter would like to see. He didn't pull it, but he hit it sharply, and he hustled all the way to second on Chavez's throw to third as Altuve pressed the running game.
I think this is exactly what Bo Porter and staff wanted when they talked about aggressive base running back in the spring. Yes, they'd like to steal a few more bags, but if you can take extra bases like this, and that's just digging all out by Altuve, and that sets up the backside. Look at him go. The instant read. You can see he kicked it into gear as he was going around second.
He did. Seager's throw not in time to get the hustling Martinez. And that lead runner opened it up for the trailing runner to take the extra base on the throw. Now it's Jason Castro. He walked and scored in the first. Foul back. You know, we're talking not to harpoon Kendrys Morales, but when he went station to station in the first inning. And this is the exact opposite of that. Morales does not have speed, but it's really setting things up for Castro here. He has 2 minutes scoring position with nobody out because of this base run.
It's huge, and I would feel pretty safe to say any manager who has that guy that can help kickstart innings by taking the extra base and dragging other base runners with him, they're worth their weight in gold, no question.
Castro fouls it.
On the flip side, I've been around frustrated managers because guys are station to station. It kills you. It's hard to get sometimes 2 hits in an inning. Heaven, sometimes 1 hit is tough to get. But when you have to start stringing 3 and plus hits together, those innings don't come along all the time.
Eric Wedges, starting right-hander now, trailing 2-1, has given up 4 hits. Iwakuma has Castro 0-2, but he has 2 men in scoring position with Carter on deck. Iwakuma had only allowed 12 hits in 26 2/3 innings before tonight. Castro looks at it. It's 1-2. The official score, by the way, charged Castro with an error in last night's game. In the first inning, initially was a pass ball, so that was changed after the game. There's that pitch that was in the dirt, and then he reached for it, and it trickled between his legs. Runner went to third.
I've never been aware of it being ruled that way. Now, I suggested it was a possibility during the course of the game, but it's an unusual ruling.
Castro's down on strikes. Iwakuma gets out number 1, and Carter will come up. Here's his hit in the first.
Chris Carter has not been a hot hitter. I think that's safe to say, but right there he got a pitch up and handled it very well. An error charged on the left fielder on that play. Rather challenging play, and make your own choice. But nice to see Carter get that bat flying through the zone.
Carter had gone 2 for his previous 25. Iwakuma's last pitch, the strikeout on Castro, was 91. That's his fastest of the evening. That's ball 1. You know, talking about that running attack, Bo Porter really would like to see a lot of that this year. Who wouldn't? But the Astros just have not been in a position to do that much of it this year. They've not had a whole lot of opportunities like they had in this inning. They got a leadoff homer from Gonzalez, then a single by Altuve, then he went to third on the Martinez hit. They just have not been able to string a whole lot of hits together this year. Except in just a few games, like the Seattle games. 1 ball, 1 strike. That kind of skews the statistics, what they did in just a few games, because they've had a lot of games offensively which have represented a major struggle for them.
Yeah, you can't call the Astros a consistently good offensive club to this point. You can be consistent and not be good, that's for sure.
Now ball goes foul. It's 1-2 now.
But the ability to score some big runs, big numbers in certain games says, I think to me anyway, that there's some talent there ready to go. The Astros find themselves in most offensive categories somewhere near the middle of the 30 clubs.
Yeah. They're 9th in runs scored. They are 6th in homers. 8th in total bases. So a lot of their attack has been based not so much on first to third on a single, but more on home runs. Peña's on deck. Upstairs.
So if you're one of those fans feeling frustrated about the offense this season, consider that there are other clubs that are having a much rougher go at the moment. It's really been the pitching side that has been the big downfall to this point.
Jose Valverde is back as the closer for the Detroit Tigers. Strikeout. That's number 5. And Iwakuma is doing a job.
Well, he comes up with two very big strikeouts. Number one getting Castro, and now down away again on Carter. We featured it last night, showing that area has been a real rough go for Chris.
Now Pena would like to provide a 2-out lift with 2 on. He struck out in the first inning. The Tigers have signed Valverde to big league contract. Immediately he becomes their closer again 6 months after they said farewell to him. Here's the intentional walk to Pena, and they prefer working to Maxwell now.
So I wonder if Valverde will continue that act, that water fountain act coming out of the bullpen that he had last year.
We'll soon know.
Jim Leyland never closed the door to having him as part of the staff.
Well, it's a good thing, because they had all kinds of struggles, and now they welcome him back. The base is loaded now for Maxwell. J-Max was caught looking in the second inning. Bill Porter's glove with 4 hits. Now has received a couple of walks. Only the second intentional walk to an Astro this year.
Find a way to come up with big hits in big situations, and this is one right now for the Astros. Golden opportunity, and it saw a couple of runners second and third, and nobody out, then 1 out.
As you saw, Maxwell has been good with the bases loaded in his career, 5 for 11. This is his first at bat this season with the bases loaded. Back, strike 1. The Astros with the Marwin Gonzalez homer now have homered in 7 games in a row.
Maxwell's gone all Jim Thome on us with that pointed bat.
Yeah. 1-1. Thome, a Hall of Famer for you?
Yeah, I think so. We're talking over 600 career home runs. I think 500 is, with what's gone on in recent decades, maybe lost its luster a bit, although it would be rather lustrous for a lot of us. But 600, boy. You?
Yes. He's hit by the pitch. It looked like it hit his bat, but it hit his hand apparently. Now here comes Eric Wedge. He's going to argue this call.
I don't blame Eric Wedge at all when the hands go out as they did here for Maxwell. I think that kind of changes the equation for me.
That makes it 3-1 Houston, as Maxwell will get credit for an RBI, his 6th of the year, as we see it again.
I think we're going to see the ball hit the hand, but look where the hands are, and yes, all the way up toward the wrist. Yeah,
no doubt. First hit batsman of the year for Iwakuma. Head athletic trainer Nate Lucero out to take a look. That hand, of course, wrapped around the bat, and that can be a very precarious situation when being hit by a pitch.
Well, you don't like to see any of your guys get hit on the hands or wrist. All those small bones have such a horrible chance of breaking, and you lose so much of the season if that does happen. But you do pick up a run right here and hope that Maxwell is fine.
Iwakuma, normally with terrific control. After the intentional walk, they chose to pitch to Maxwell. He hit him on a 1-1. And now he has to work to Rick Ankiel, who hit a warning track fly ball to center earlier. Right center over by the bullpen. He pops it up. Seager over into foul territory. And now back for the catch. And the Astros come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 3. And what's up next? Julia Morales, and food. And here was some food for Marwin Gonzalez, home run food.
And I have scored the awful interview. I get the food guys. What is this? I got so lucky. Houston Astros Hospitality Group. I've got Randall Cox here, the executive chef at the ballpark. And then celebrity chef Ryan Caswell joins me. You might have been to his restaurants, Reef, Little Bigs, El Real. And they have worked together to put together some great, delicious looking items for the ballpark here this year. Ryan, let's start explaining. This looks delicious.
So these two items are new. It's a new concept we came up with. It's kind of a full service burger joint called the Kaz. This is called the Freddy Fender. It's a chorizo sausage wrapped in a paprika tortilla that is fried and becomes crispy.
Wow.
Then there's onions, cilantro cream, pico, and Coita cheese on that. And then it's in a pretzel bun.
You're speaking my language.
We tried to think of one extra thing we could get on it, but we couldn't come up with anything.
What you got
This
here?
burger is actually called the Kaz Grand Slam. So it's bun, guacamole, Frito chips, then bacon, refried beans, lettuce, tomato, and poblanos.
Wow.
And cheese.
Okay, we're in Texas. We're at a ballpark and there's sushi. I never thought I'd see it happen. What do we have here?
What we have here is a few samples of the sushi rolls that we have. We have a crab roll and we have a yakitori turkey roll. We have a new concept this year in the bistro called Sushi Wow. And you are able to go up and order sushi a la carte. We have an assortment of different options for you to choose from. And that's one of the new things that we just added this year from the Houston Astros Hospitality Group.
And where can you get all these items?
At the club level.
Okay.
Within Minute Maid Park.
Awesome.
So you can go up there and you can...
There's also...
It's kind of like a Chipotle, but with sushi. So you're like, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, and roll it up.
Wow. Okay, Brownie, I'm going to send it back up to you for right now.
Well, you don't want it back, I know. You need time to digest. Well, Bud Norris struck out Montero, but Julia's not striking out. And look what we have here. The Kaz Grand Slam, Freddy Fender, Sushi Wow, smoked chicken taquitos. And very nice list of items. And Ash, you'll be sampling those as well.
If I can get myself cleaned off here. The Kaz Grand Slam. Julia, remember your friends now.
Dustin Ackley, the batter. His ball one to him. He singled and scored in the second inning. And Seattle has had 2 hits in each of the first 3 innings off Norris. Norris is at 64 pitches. 40 have been strikes. In tight for a 2-ball no strike count with Brendan Ryan on deck. Bud has a chance here with these 7, 8, 9 hitters to take care of his first inning in 1-2-3 fashion tonight. Starting pitchers kind of feeling their way through this one so far, and there's a strike to Ackley. That makes it 2-1. Ackley worked the count to 3-2, and then he shot a line drive to left center field in the second inning on a pitch away from him. Three balls and a strike. There's a rain delay in Boston tonight, Ash. Get that rain out of town before you and Blummer get there.
Let's get some nice, warm, beautiful weather. Back east for a week. Those are some very nice venues to be able to head toward now for the ball club. Boston and Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park the first.
3-2.
Yeah, but not easy places, and so get your game together. Strap them on tight when you go play those two clubs.
You will see Thursday night in Boston, Philip Humber, and Friday night, Eric Bedard. Saturday night, Brad Peacock. Sunday afternoon, Bud Norris. The Red Sox have not announced their starters yet. It's a line shot, and Keel breaks in, and he is able to make that catch. Nice jump.
Rick Ankiel getting more and more comfortable here of late in right field, and that's that rocket line shot. Just a good reaction to get it done. Bud Norris knows that ball was hit hard enough to be just about anything, and an out is just a fortunate break.
Now let's go back to Julia.
Brownie, you can't have dinner without dessert. There's sweets down here as well. Randall, tell us real quick. These cake lollipops?
Cake lollipops, right. What we have here are we have red velvet cake dipped in dark chocolate. We also have German chocolate cake dipped in white chocolate. Oh. We also have an example of one of the cakes that we do here with the Houston Astro logo on there. It's 100% edible for all your private functions. We do all kinds of catering, one-off caterings, company parties, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, whatever type of function you want to have. We do it here at Minute Maid Park with Houston Astro Hospitality Group. And these are just a few of the many examples that of the great sweets that we do here at the park.
Very nice. Brownie, I am in heaven over here. And if you guys are nice up there, I might bring you something.
You can't eat the logo.
This is all for you, so feel free to
eat around it.
Eat all around it, Julia. Just eat the edges.
Not a problem.
So 100% edible as opposed to what, 40% edible?
These guys don't like being around food at all, do they, Julia?
No, we're not having a good time at all.
They only do
My
60%
stomach's growling.
What's the deal? We've got 100% edible, gorgeous-looking food.
Yeah.
I'll take the burger, Julia.
Sorry.
You want the burger?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Julia's she's not coming back. She's gone for the night. Norris with the slider looking in.
Yeah, the one with the poblano on it.
The only slider we want to look at is, well, never mind.
That's no slider. That's the real deal right there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I've seen a few sliders here this evening.
Full Monty, Ash.
Yeah.
The air foul, and Castro comes over. The mask is off, and he makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Nice catch by Rick Ankiel in right on Ackley's liner, and there is something to behold. 3-1 Houston. best-of-7 series with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Rockets and Thunder. It all starts with the Rockets pregame live show tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. on Comcast Sports Net. Shoot those threes, fellas. And here at Minute Maid Park tonight, the Astros have a 3. They got 1 in the first and 2 in the third. They lead it 3-1 against Hisashi Iwakuma.
Most trifectas of all time, right?
Yeah. Matt Dominguez, who fouled out to the catcher, leads it off here in the home 4th inning. Now, both these guys have really been feeling their way through these first 3 innings. There's strike 1 for Iwakuma.
86-mile-an-hour fastball right through the chute of the plate, and for me, it's a good time to hack.
And he hacks on that up in his eyes, and that works too. A leadoff single for Dominguez.
Well, if you can make it work, it really doesn't matter, and that's a good job by Matt. Just a hanging flying saucer up there. You like to feel like you should be able to hammer this pitch.
Astros are getting some good swings tonight. That's hit number 5. Marwin Gonzalez had the most resounding hit, and that was a home run to right field. Number 3 of the year for Marwin. He has already surpassed his total of last year. He went for it. That's strike 1. Number 9 spot has been productive for the Astros hitters this year. Marwin had 205 at bats last year, hit 2 homers, drove in 12 runs. 5 hits allowed, the most for Iwakuma in a start this season. It's in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Word gets around. Get Gonzalez crushing a fastball out for the home run, and now he sees a couple of sliders to start things. Uncle Splitty is likely to make an appearance.
But it gets away, and that allows Dominguez to get to second base. Splitty tried to go into the couch.
Sure did. Montero got down nicely, but that glove got involved. Let's see if he tries to catch this ball. Maybe so, yeah. See the glove come up? And that's where you get in problems. We've seen Castro so good this year with keeping the glove down and just utilizing the body.
Now another runner in scoring position for the Astros. A 1-2 count for Gonzalez. Altuve's on deck. And a big strikeout there for Iwakuma. That's number 6 for him.
Iwakuma goes right back to that splitter, and it just dives for Mother Earth. And you try to get down there and find that thing, and eventually you wind up looking like Reggie Jackson at the end of the swing.
Altuve singled to center and came around to score when Maxwell was hit by a pitch. He's 1 for 2. Jose has now scored 9 runs this year. That's strike 1 to Altuve. Altuve has hit well with men in scoring position this year. Later tonight in San Diego, the Brewers play the Padres. Giovanni Gallardo against Clayton Richard. Milwaukee, during its 8-game winning streak, has a 2.84 ERA. 1 game behind Cincinnati now in the NL Central. Foul back.
Pretty amazing that a pitching staff could do that, and I know the Brewers during some of that span were playing in Milwaukee. That ballpark, it's not like it's small dimension-wise, but it is an offensive haven.
Yeah. With 2 strikes, Altuve's hit .333 this year. Joe Mauer, .409. Boy, those guys. The Cardinals are leading at Washington. It's 2-0 in the bottom of the 9th. Adam Wainwright. Foul tip, and Altuve's down on strikes. That's number 7.
It's Earth Week. No need right now to wait for special occasions to use your cloth napkins. They have half the total eco-impact compared to paper napkins. Using them daily saves trees and reduces garbage. Green is universal.
2 outs, and it's Fernando Martinez. He lined a single over shortstop in the 3rd inning after striking out in the 1st. Adam Wainwright is going for a shutout. 8 innings so far. He's allowed 4 hits, no runs. Walking 1, fanning 8. His numbers are spectacular this year. 3rd baseman comes over. Seager into foul territory and running out of room here. It's back out of play for him. Strike 1. Wainwright now with 8 innings tonight has 37 innings pitched this year. 1 walk, 36 strikeouts.
Pretty amazing. The only game where he's allowed 4 hits to this point in his 4 starts was an 8-inning effort on his part. Tonight, we mentioned the fact that the Astros have put 5 hits on the board. That is no small feat there.
A dribble foul by Fernando. No balls, 2 strikes. He knows this is a really big year for him. He talked about that. Made some comments in an article the other day as he rejoined the Astros from AAA from his rehab time. He's out of options now, and he said, I know I have to prove that I'm healthy. And that's really been the knock on him. He's gotten hurt a lot in his career.
A lot of times it's not proving that you're healthy, it's proving that you can stay there and be productive.
He's just 24. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's had only 209 major league at bats coming into this season. Last year he had 118 of them, and he hit 6 homers. 69 pitches for Iwakuma. Ryan is behind Dominguez, and that's a swing and a miss for a strikeout. And Iwakuma strikes out the side here in the 4th. It's no runs a hit and a man left. 3-1 Astros. Sale now. To learn about all the exclusive benefits and pricing, or to get your Astros ticket packages today, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com. Crowd here tonight looking on as Brandon Barnes has gone in the game in center field. Justin Maxwell was hit by a pitch on the hand in the 3rd inning, so perhaps that has flared up on him, but He is now out of this game and replaced by Brandon Barnes in center field. And Bud Norris with a 3-1 lead has allowed 6 hits. He has given up 2 hits in each of the first 3 innings. Then he had a 1-2-3 4th. And now as he approaches the 5th inning, it's the top 3 hitters against him: Chavez, Seager, and Morales. Manny Chavez doubled in a run with a ball hit to right center in the 2nd inning. And then he was thrown out between 2nd and 3rd in a rundown with Ackley scoring on the hit. Showing bunt. It's strike 1.
Brownie, I think I've learned how you maintain that 6-pack of yours.
How's that?
Well, you've got great restraint when it comes to some good-looking food coming around.
I'll get to it. I know you'll be back with us in the 9th inning after that burger.
The Cos burger, is that what this is called?
Yeah.
You know, give it a try, folks. This is gorgeous looking stuff.
Are you going to go ahead and say you're recommending that?
Well, I've already thrown my recommendation. I've had one bite, and it's easy to say, go for it.
Very nice of Julia to share with her friends.
No kidding. I thought she'd bring it to the basketball players and just have a picnic.
Showing bunt again, but it's a ball and it's 2-1.
Because I guess that can't happen tonight.
Well, tomorrow night we get to watch basketball. You'll be on an airplane, but you can still watch it. There you go. Is that what you're eating currently?
Oh, it is. This is not like your typical commercial where you see what it looks like for the photo, but in reality it looks nowhere close.
Driven to center field. Barnes backing. Barnes going way back by Tal's Hill. Barnes turning. Good catch.
Well, if we didn't know already, Brandon Barnes can go get it.
Okay. He never seems to make a bad turn.
Yeah, back to the plate and just getting into position. He didn't have to deal with famous Tal's Hill, but it's a heck of a play.
Well, the best outfielders make those catches look easier than they really are, right?
I think my favorite all-time catch back there, and it's been a while, but Lance Berkman.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to hand it to him for getting back there.
Oh, yeah. He was falling down, looking back over.
Kind of crumbled when it all came to a conclusion, but it was a heck of a play.
Kyle Seager takes strike 1. Well, if Barnes doesn't make that play, Chavez is on third base. The way he runs.
If he gets held.
Seager grounded out and he walked. He flares one to left field. That's in for a hit for Seager, and that takes his hitting streak to 12 games. New career high for him. Justin Maxwell is going for x-rays on his left hand after being hit by that pitch in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded. Henrys Morales has walked and he's bounced into a double play.
Right on that wrist. Top of the hand. Not a good place to be hit.
Throw goes over on Seager. And Morales hit into that double play in the 3rd. The Astros would love to have a repeat scenario there and get Bud out of this 5th inning. He's at 89 pitches. Make it 80 pitches. Strike 1 to Morales. That's number 81. 50 have been strikes for Bud.
That start of Bud's that you talked about so glowingly in Anaheim just seemed like pitch after pitch, fastball, slider, change, whatever it may have been, all night long at the knees or below the knees, exactly. On the corners.
Yep.
Just great command all night long. Not quite the same tonight, but holding the ball club right in this game and with a lead.
0-2. He had that downward breaking slider and he had a couple of different speeds on it.
It never seemed to start upward. It started that same line that a good fastball will start with.
Oh, it worked so well for him. Next swing. The appeal went to third, but he didn't go, and it's 1-2 on the Ron Culpa call. Mariners were swept in Texas, and they scored a total of 3 runs in the 3-game series. And now they are struggling against Bud Norris. They put together hits, 7 of them, but have only 1 run. Foul back. Bud last year won 7 and lost 13 with a 4.65 ERA. His top victory season in the majors was 9 in 2010. He was 9-10 that year. Opening day winner here against the Texas Rangers. Lucas Harrell, number 2 man in the rotation, goes tomorrow afternoon. That's a 1:10 start tomorrow. Joe Saunders is his mount opponent. Foul back, still 1-2 to Morales. What an honor to be named the opening day guy. Lead guy in the rotation. Big crowd here that night. And Bud pitched well. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowed the hard-hitting Rangers 2 runs, and won the game 8-2.
Ronnie, we've hit that 4 1/3 innings pitch for the starter for the Astros, and kind of that range where they've been averaging this year.
Runner goes, and it's foul. Yeah, that's not a good average, is it?
Bud with the glove over his face. I think just really acknowledging that pitch was nowhere near where I wanted it. Castro goes out to talk about it. Just a matter of lack of consistency with especially the off-speed pitches, breaking balls tonight. Reminder, keep that left shoulder tucked as long as possible.
Now 86 pitches for Bud. The last 7 games, Astros starting pitchers have combined to work 19 2/3 innings.
Yeah, they've set a record in the process, but I believe 5 and 6 games.
Runner going again, fly ball. Barnes coming in center field, and it's a hit in front of him. He faked as if he might be able to make that catch, and that seemed to freeze Seager there at second base. And it seemed to work because Seager could have easily made third. And, you know, why not go to third? If he catches it, you're doubled off anyway. You're standing on second.
That's a very good point. When I see an outfielder throw that glove up like that, I will safely say that, well, okay, we'll call it 99% of the time it's a bluff. But it really is an every time thing. And when you see that as a base runner, that's your chance to say, look, he's not getting to this ball.
Yeah. So once again, the base running questionable by the Mariners, and it's first and second one out for Michael Morse.
Look at the starting pitching for the Astros, and this is just the past week. Of course, we had the 3 games where starters couldn't get out of the first inning, and that'll skew the numbers a bit, but obviously it has not been a good story.
Morse has 2 singles tonight. Strike 1 to him.
Now that is a heck of a slider right there.
It's a good pitch to use on Morse because he can extend his arms, reach out across the plate, and it's necessary to break the ball further away from him.
One of those big guys that can get hot, and when he does, he's got so much power, just destroy you.
Just missed.
I'm not sure that pitching away, though, as you say, with the long arms and that big swing is a consistent way I'd go after him.
No.
I think in Seattle I made the comment that coming in on him is imperative.
Yes. Yes. Not consistently away. That's true. Coming inside is the requisite for working him well. Travis Blackley working in the bullpen. Swings at that one at 1-2. But I'm just saying that he can reach out and whack that fastball across the outside corner. So a slider might work better depending on the placement.
Yeah. There's the fastball effort to come in, although Bud yanks it back over the plate a little bit, has it up, and that's a pretty good place for the swing and the miss.
Justin Smoak on deck. 8 hits now for the M's, 5 for the Astros. Each club has left 5 on base. got him to swing. 2 outs. If your TV provider does not yet carry CSN, call and tell them you want your CSN. To get the facts and learn how you can help, go to iwantcsnhouston.com. We are working diligently to get CSN Houston on all TV providers. Big strikeout there. That's number 2 for Bud.
Just at that last instant, oops, I got to protect, and you never want the bat to go through. Michael Morse knows he's been had.
91 pitches for Norris now. Smoke has ripped 2 singles to right field. Carlos Pena is protecting. He's close to the line. And that's where Smoke has been smoking it. Ball 1 to him. Well, the numbers are just crazy for Bud Norris. Good at home, bad on the road, good against right-handed hitters, bad against left-handed hitters.
Isn't that the truth? And against right-hand hitters, you could go beyond good. He's been spectacular numbers-wise.
In for a strike. 1-1.
2 of the hits for Seattle tonight against Bud Norris coming from a right-handed bat. That's a bit of news right there anyway, but those from Michael Morse.
2 of the 8 and 6 hits by left-handed hitters against Bud.
So what can Bud do to get things changed with the left-handed bats?
Okay.
I would suggest the changeup becoming a little bit bigger part of the arsenal. Use the fastball inside maybe more than currently is being used. I think when you see right-hand pitchers in particular that are successful against left-hand hitters, there's usually some form of a changeup involved.
Well, in fact, that's a good pitch. 2-2. He got Kendrys Morales to ground into a double play on that changeup. That works too.
Bud's primarily a fastball slider pitcher. That changeup could go a long way to help with those left-handed bats that have been troublesome for Bud.
Fly ball to center. Barnes heads back. Barnes still going. Barnes still on the run at the warning track. And then Barnes catches up with 2 deep drives here in the 5th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. 3-1 Astros. By Progressive. Visit progressive.com today. And the Chipotle Chicken Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax. Well, we've had a lot of traffic. The Astros and the Mariners. A lot of base runners in this game. And surprisingly, it's still 3-1. 8 hits for the Mariners, 5 for the Astros. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, Julia Morales, all of us eating our way through this ball game. And now in the bottom of the 5th inning, it's Castro, Carter, and Pena as the big hat is on display there. Castro walked and scored on a hit by Carter and an error in the 1st inning. Then he struck out in the 3rd. Fastball for Iwakuma in tight, ball 1. At this point, it becomes interesting to wonder how long these two starting pitchers can stay around.
Pace of game certainly hasn't been real snappy, I'll say that.
It's a good night for eating.
It is that. You're not doing a very good job of it. And Julia has become certainly one of the best friends of the booth here.
She's the queen.
Wow.
I think you and Blummer should take her out for a lobster dinner in Boston.
That could happen.
During one of those rainouts you're going to have.
This has been very well played.
Did somebody say lobster?
Yeah. You like lobster?
Everybody's our witness here. You heard it. Y'all are taking me to lobster.
Yeah,
Ash and Blummer have promised to take you out.
Brownie, who's not going on the trip, is making the offer. Yeah. But we could probably make that happen.
I will say I'm stuffed after that delicious food.
These guys put on a show, don't they?
Great stuff.
They're magicians. Everything disappears around them. Swing and a miss. Castro will be thrown out on the strikeout. That's number 9 for Iwakuma.
Well, it continues to be the big strikeout barrage for the Astros hitters. You wait long enough on Iwakuma and allow him to go to that splitter with a couple of strikes on you, you're in trouble.
This is a struggle for these hitters tonight. 7 men left on base for the Mariners, 5 left for the Astros. Chris Carter singled in the 1st inning. He struck out in the 3rd. That's when Iwakuma got really tough. He had 2 men on. He struck out Castro and Carter. Then he walked Pena intentionally and hit Maxwell to force in a run. But he did leave the bases loaded by retiring Rick Ankiel. Carter fouls it 1-1. Carter now has struck out 32 times. That's more than any other American League player. Seems to be a streaky kind of guy, Ash.
Very much so.
Go off on a tear.
And that tear took place primarily in Seattle, but he carried it on down to Anaheim a bit.
Two balls and a strike. Well, some of the Mariners pitchers probably feel if they're fly ball pitchers that their ERAs might go up at Safeco Field with the new dimensions, with the left center field wall 15 feet closer. But Iwakuma's a good strikeout guy. 2 balls, 2 strikes. His stuff will play quite well on the road and at home.
I think it is balanced out with the changes in that ballpark in Seattle. The Astros tore it up, and it was cold weather on top of that.
Yeah. Foul back. Well, these two teams have been banging away at each other. The Mariners in the season series have hit 8 homers. The Astros have hit 10.
Five in one game didn't hurt that cause for Houston.
Not a bit. Ball on the off-speed pitch. The Marlins lead the Twins in game 2 of their doubleheader, 5-3. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning with Ricky Nolasco on the mound. Braves lead the Rockies 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th. BJ Upton hit his 3rd. Justin Upton, number 11. And the changeup strikes out Carter. That's number 10 for Iwakuma. Strikeout high in a major league game is 13. Braves are trying to sweep that series at Colorado.
With a Rockies club that had been playing very good.
Yep. Now 2 outs, and it's Carlos Pena. He struck out in the first. He walked intentionally in the third.
I guess they had been playing very well. They were playing very good baseball, and somewhere in the middle I found myself.
It's the burger.
Well, I don't want to blame the burger because it seems to be perfect as far as I can tell.
They tied ball 1. Jared Cosart is 2-0 for Oklahoma City with a 1.02 ERA.
Ooh.
That had some movement on it.
Yep. And he pulled it back to 84 miles an hour.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nice start for Cosart. Jordan Lyles had been pitching well until today. 1 inning, 8 hits, 5 runs. Field shifts around for Pena. He looks at that one for ball 2. 2-1. Jonathan Villar started this season for Oklahoma City at shortstop, 2 for 34. His last 10 games he's hit .395 with a .605 slugging percentage.
Game of streaks.
Boy, isn't it though? That's ball 3.
Really good ones have a way of minimizing the bad streaks.
Yeah, they do. 3 balls and a strike. Pitch count at 85 for Iwakuma.
See Jose Altuve to this point.
That's ball 4. Pena takes a 2-out walk. Carlos drawing his second of the ninth. That's number 3 for Iwakuma. Pena now has drawn 11 walks this season. It's Brandon Barnes batting for the first time. He entered the game for the injured Justin Maxwell, who was hit by a pitch on his left hand and left for X-rays. Barnes at .333 has 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. He had a good series against the Indians, going 3 for 7 with a homer, driving in 2. Went deep to right field, his second career major league homer. Off a lefty, Scott Kazmir. He was walking in the ballpark. He said, I didn't even know if I'd get number 2 in the big leagues. He was number 1 last year. Strike 1. Certainly proving himself all along the way this season. When he's been in there, he's been productive. This spring he hit very well, .250, but with 5 homers, and he slugged .604. He's had almost 8 full seasons in the minors. Line drive right field, foul, and watch out.
So even with unpredictable spring training as your testing ground, 5 home runs. It's got to be intriguing to people.
Yeah.
You say, well, look, he's never done that before, but is it possible he's hit that stage of his career?
Maybe. Well, we might say that he's played a little bit more perhaps than he thought. I haven't asked him, but it seemed that he would be coming in defensively quite a bit this season, but he has started several games. Runner going, that's poked on the ground. Off the glove of the diving Justin Smoke, and everybody's safe. Pena took off on the 0-2 pitch, and Barnes just put the ball in play. Smoke diving to his right, couldn't hang on, and Barnes gets an infield single.
Just protecting. Good job covering that outside corner, and he had a huge hole to hit to, but first baseman gets to it. If he comes up with that cleanly, is he able to get up and get to the bag in time to get a rather speedy Brandon Barnes? Tough to say.
Probably not. Yeah, the way he was diving towards second. Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't know that he beats him to the bag.
Probably not. Now 2 men on. Rick Ankill, the batter, and the bullpen phone is ringing. It seems like there have been 2 men on in most of these half innings tonight for both teams. Ankill hit a deep drive to right center. It was caught in the second. He fouled out with the bases loaded in the third. That's ball 1. Fastball at 89 by Iwakuma. He's at 90 pitches. Hector Noesi is warming up in the bullpen. Carl Willis is the pitching coach. He was on that bullpen phone. Robbie Thompson, the bench coach, a former Giant infielder. Now back 1-1. Well, those were good games that you guys played against the Giants when Robbie Thompson was there and Will Clark. There's Noesi.
I can still see Will Clark taking the big swing on Mike Scott's final pitch of the no-hitter that clinched things for 1986. Pitch right down the middle. And I think everybody involved right in the heart and center of that just thought, oh no, that's not the pitch that's going to get this done. And yet he rolled over and hit the ground ball. What do you think of Will Clark for? I have one thing that comes to mind.
Well, other than just a very good career, his first swing, the home run off Nolan Ryan, right?
That one moment, of course, as you say, you'd hate to define his career by one moment. That's not a bad one, though. But home run against Nolan Ryan for that first at bat. What if he remembers that?
Oh, and he had that engaging, that cackling laugh.
Kind of high pitch.
Yeah. Swing and a miss by Ankill, and that'll do it. It's strikeout number 11. Iwakuma ends the 5th inning with no runs a hit, 2 men stranded. It's still 3-1 after 5.
Game summary. Time has been a big factor tonight. Back in the first inning, Seattle had 3 base runners with 2 outs, a walk, and 2 singles. This base hit by Smoke led to a great throw by Rick Ankill holding the runner, so they didn't score. The Astros then got on the board in the first inning. Seattle came bouncing right back in the second inning. RBI doubled by Andy Chavez made it a 1-1 ball game. They eventually got an out on the base paths. But then it was Marwin Gonzalez, he of the big flies, slammed one out in the third inning, his 3rd home run of the year. And then Justin Maxwell takes one on the wrist. He has gone for x-rays, and we certainly hope all is well, but a run scored on that one. And there's your 3-1 lead for Houston.
And Travis Blackley comes in relief of Bud Norris. Blackley in for his 2nd appearance with the Astros. And the shift is on, with Raul Ibanez leading it off. He is 0 for 2. Altuve out in right field. Blackley, the Australian-born lefty. steams it right in at 92. There's strike one to Ibanez. Blackley gave up 3 runs in 1 inning Saturday night against Cleveland. That was his first appearance with the Astros. He had been on the disabled list. Ibanez 1 for 9 against lefties. And then lefty hitting Ackley will be due up third. The appeal went to third. He checked his swing. It's 1-1. Called by Ron Culpa. Astros traded for Travis Blackley, who was with Oakland last year. He was traded for outfielder Jake Gobert. And then he showed up in Houston through a bullpen and got hurt. He had been inactive for a time. Tap foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He had to go to Florida and do his rehab, and that's what the Astros do with typically with rehabbing players. They send them to Florida. And they're ready to perform again in minor league games. They send them out. For Blackley, it was a left shoulder strain. He missed 13 games while he was on the DL. And he even attended 1 game in Oakland and sat in the right field stands.
Which team was he cheering for at that point?
A shot, 1 hopper. Pena kind of reached back to his right hip to grab that one. 1 out. I presume the A's. He almost moved too far toward the line on this one.
Ball kicked back just a little bit at the end, but Suave, I've got it.
Bud Norris in 5 innings allowed 8 hits, 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 2. He threw 96 pitches, 61 were strikes. Now Jesus Montero, he's flied to right and struck out. So Bud is qualified for his 3rd win of the season.
You know, that's one of those starts for Bud Norris that I think down the line we'll look back on and say, well, he pitched well. It was 5 innings of 1-run ball. I don't think it was quite that sharp for Bud, but boy, did he battle to keep things
right
at a 1-run game.
Had to be gritty because he was working out of the stretch most of the night. 1 ball, 1 strike. He left the bases loaded in the first. Got Ibanez on a ground ball. And then in the third, after his double play ball, there were 2 singles, and he got Ibanez on a line drive. So Raul accounted for 2 of the key outs for Bud. And then he had 2 men on in the 5th and struck out Morrison, got smoked. Adam Wainwright tossed 8 1/3 scoreless tonight. The Cardinals blanked the Nationals 2-0. Came out after 113 pitches. Fly ball to right. Ankiel waits for this one. 2 down. Astros Big and Bright Friday nights are the perfect combination of baseball and family fun. Each Friday night game is followed by a spectacular fireworks show presented by Marathon Oil. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com to get your tickets today.
Jesus Montero last night hit a monster home run. Might have felt like he got a pitch to drive again here, and that's the frustration between home plate and first base so often felt by hitters.
Dustin Ackley is singled and scored, and he's lined out. That's ball 1. Travis Blackley facing Dustin Ackley. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. The Astros have used 10 different relief pitchers this year. Their long men, and Jeff Luhnow was talking about this, the Astros GM, have really kind of saved them because they've gotten some lengthy relief performances from people like Paul Clemens, Dallas Keuchel. Altuve to his left, gobbles it up, throws to Pena. It's a 1-2-3 6th, and Blackley puts up a 0 to keep the Astros in the lead 3-1.
Geico quote of the day. And it goes something like this. It's been a huge chip on my shoulder. I know what I can do internally, and I know a lot of these guys within the Astros organization know what I can do. That's why they've kept me as a starter. Now, that's Jared Cosart talking about the relief rumors that have been swirling lately, and really not a bad thing for Jared Cosart. If he were to be considered as a closer, that would be a golden opportunity, I would think, for anybody. But it sounds to me like he would love to stay a starter.
That's the way it sounds. And he's doing well as a starter at Oklahoma City this year, as we talked about a few minutes ago. Orbit entertaining, falling on his face. And it's 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Hector Noesi comes in to do the work for the Mariners on the mound after Iwakuma in 5 innings allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, walking 3, and fanning 11. Matt Dominguez will face Noesi. 3 1/3 innings of work and an ERA of 0. Noesi is a former Yankee farmhand, and in fact pitched in the big leagues with the Yankees in 2011. There's ball 1. He came with Montero in the big trade for Michael Pineda, Jose Campos, before last season. It's a smash toward the left field line. That kicks off the wall, back toward the infield, and the shortstop's going to have to play it. That's a double for Dominguez. His 4th double.
Watching that kind of a double off the wall in short left field makes me think, well, maybe some of the guys with the Astros won't have a huge adjustment going to Fenway Park in the Green Monster. Kind of how you play it there. Matt Dominguez hasn't hit a lot of balls real hard, to be quite frank, but he hits this one right on the screws.
He sat out last night. He's returned to the lineup tonight with 2 hits. That's hit number 7 for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez ripped a homer to right field in the 3rd inning. Then he struck out in the 4th. Third baseman Seager plays it in close. Marwin bunts. Noesi turns and looks at third, throws to first. And it's a sacrifice for Marwin Gonzalez. Getting Dominguez to third, 1 out.
Well, Marwin Gonzalez failed on a bid a couple of days ago to get a bunt down, but trying to extend this 3-1 lead Houston has in the 6th inning. Every run can be big. And now it's time for the bats to come through behind him. Jose Altuve likely will not see the free pass this time.
The infield is coming in. Marwin leads the American League in sacrifice bunts now, and here's Altuve for the 4th time. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 3rd. Nano Martinez on deck with Noesi going to work. High ball up the right field line. Morse over out of his reach.
You know, I think ultimately you have to come to the conclusion, whether you like sacrifice bunts or not, they're good when the guys that follow the sacrifice bunt come through with their part of the bargain. If you can hit the sac fly or sneak something through the infield, whatever the case may be.
Altuve is 7 for 17 with runners in scoring position coming into this game. 412 batting average in these situations. There's a liner up the right field line. That's going to be foul. Otherwise, it's an RBI single for Altuve. Balls, 2 strikes.
Looks like Altuve is just shooting this way. Now with 2 strikes, see if he changes the approach at all, but I don't know exactly what the logic to trying to go the other way might be. He feels like he can get it airborne a little bit better going the other way. A lot of times when you pull the ball, you roll over and hit the ground ball.
Wes, it was 2-12 for Seattle last year. Ground ball third. Dominguez holds. Seager with the play. 2 outs.
Yeah, there's that pull, roll over ground ball. And now the sacrifice bunt doesn't have any impact on the positive side for you.
There will be a pitching change here. Lefty Charlie Furbush has been warming up. Lefty hitter Fernando Martinez will be next. Wesley leaves. We'll be right back. Third and 2 outs. It's a matinee tomorrow as the Astros end their homestand against the Seattle Mariners. Astros pregame live kicks things off at 12:30 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. Let's look ahead to tomorrow's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. It's Joe Saunders, a veteran lefty with a 1-2 record, a 4.5 ERA, and he defeated the Astros in Seattle. And it's Lucas Harrell. He's 1-2 with a 4.98 ERA. He defeated Cleveland in his last start. Lefty Charlie Furbush is warming up right now. The Astros lead at 3-1. He's going to come in to face Fernando Martinez, who's 1 for 3, and he's 0-1 with a 5.40 ERA. Bush is 27 years old. He's from South Portland, Maine. Went to LSU for a time. He's come back from Tommy John surgery in the 08 season. Detroit drafted him in the 4th round in 07. Traded him to Seattle in the middle of the 2011 season. Doug Fister deal. He's pitched twice against the Astros. He got an important out, striking out Rick Ankill in a 3-0 Seattle win. And then he gave up 2 runs in 2 innings in a later game on a 2-run homer by Jose Altuve. That's ball 1 to Fernando Martinez.
Like with so many left-handers coming out of the pen, the assignment, make sure you get that left-handed bat, and that's what he's in to do. And he's done it well on the year. 182 the batting average against with the lefties at the plate.
Fouled away. 1-1.
Good swing as Martinez gets the fastball. We'll see how he's able to handle things from the big left-hander, that lanky delivery, and maybe the slider coming his way.
Bush is listed at 6'5". Left-handed hitters hit 147 against him last year. That's a strike. It's 1-2.
high strike, no doubt about that, but also a pitch that if you can see it well, boy, for the left-hand hitter, when you get that one against the lefty, you hope you can hammer it.
And a swing and a miss. A strikeout ends the Astros sixth. A promising start, a leadoff double, but then it fizzled and the runner was left at third. 3-1.
Leading 3-1 over the Mariners, and it's time for our progressive fan of the night here, and I've got this awesome goodie bag. This is Eduardo. He is in first grade. Here, you can have this. That is for you. He says he plays baseball. Let's find out what position. What position, Eduardo?
Third base.
Third base. I bet you can give Matt Dominguez a run for his money. Who's your favorite player?
Jose Altuve.
Altuve, another fan favorite there. All right, thank you so much. Guys, back up to you. We got a future future second baseman, third baseman. He could probably do it all.
He looks like he could play several positions. He's a cute little guy. Robert Andino in the game now as he leads off the seventh inning, pinch hitting for Brendan Ryan. And it's 3-1. The Astros have the lead. They strike one to Andino. Ryan was 0 for 2 and had a batting average below 150 when the night started. Andino not much better than that, 172. He's driven in one. Andino's had 29 at bats. He has not had a pinch hit at bat this season. That's a strike for Blackley in relief of Bud Norris, and he's in front. No balls, 2 strikes. He had a 1-2-3 sixth inning. $13,929 the paid attendance. Blackley misses there, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Blackley was signed by Seattle in 2000 as a free agent and came to the big leagues with the Mariners in 04. And ran into some arm problems, had to have surgery, and was traded to the Giants in 07. They belonged to the Phillies in Arizona and some other clubs. And there's a strikeout looking. 1 out.
Big bender and well spotted. This is getting on top of it well and dropping it right there at the knees.
He's retired 4 in a row since he came in. Andy Chavez, the batter, is 1 for 3. He doubled in a run in the second inning. He's hit the ball in the air to center field twice. Brandon Barnes is shading to left center field on Chavez. Cracks a grounder to Altuve down on a knee. 2 outs. It's nice work by Blackley. When the Astros bring in relievers, it's usually for longer appearances this year compared to what we've seen in recent years. And by design, they did not want a bunch of pitchers who typically only go 1 inning in relief. They wanted more innings than that from some of their relievers this year, and they have gotten them. Kyle Seager is 1 for 2 with a walk. Wesley Wright is warming up now. Seager looks at ball 1. And Reiner Cruz is just starting to toss. And you can see that Bo Porter is staying with this southpaw against these lefty hitters, and with good reason. Seager is a 174 hitter against left-handed pitching. Chavez was 1 for 6. Liner to right. Rick Ankiel waiting for the grab. That's 6 in a row set down by Blackley. At 7th inning stretch time, the Astros lead at 3-1.
And beyond on Sports Talk Live. That's weekdays at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Seventh inning stretch here, and this ball game still 3-1. It's been there's been a lot of tension here as far as all the base runners, but not a lot of scoring action.
You take a run to see if you could find some more of that wonderful food we had run up here.
You wiped it all out.
That cookie looked all right that you were handling.
That's pretty good. Robert Andino staying in this ball game, and he is a very good defensive player at shortstop. They don't lose a whole lot there, even though Ryan is terrific. Jason Castro comes up now. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The Astros hoping for insurance runs. Burbush still in the game, and Castro has struck out twice and walked. Burbush struck out Martinez in the last inning. There's strike 1. No balls, 2 strikes to Jason.
Hanging in there, getting a good swing on that hanging breaking ball. That really, it's that pitch that Fernando Martinez rather saw and was unable to pull the trigger on. That's when you want to get the good swings on as a left-hand hitter.
As Carter's on deck, then Pena. Shot off the mound into center field. Nice job by Jason Castro, going right through the box. Staying in against the lefty to get things started here in the home 7th.
Jason's got a chance of being that everyday catcher that hits right now, at least for the time being, hitting in that 3 spot. If you can hang in and get the job done, nice percentage of the time against left-handers. And this is really good work. You got a chance turning yourself into a whale of a player.
In 4 of the 7 innings, the Astros have placed the leadoff man on. Chris Carter is 1 for 3. Now, Carter has not done much against left-handed pitching so far this season. There's ball 1. That's probably due to change any time now.
Come on, Chris.
Peña on deck.
You would kind of figure that would be exactly what he would do best.
Yeah. He looks at it. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, I was looking at some numbers. It's been a handful of days ago, but right-hand hitters against right-hand pitching actually had hit more home runs and had a higher batting average than left-handed hitters had against right-handed pitching. And the left-hand hitters actually had more at bats. So if you wanted to make that argument about the home runs, it actually played the other way.
Interesting. I'm called. Well, Chris Carter came into this game against left-handed pitching, hitting 150, 3 for 20. 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. Not enough at bats to worry about anything at this point. Runner going, and he'll make it easily on that pitch because the catcher Montero couldn't get to his feet. Castro stole a base.
Now, when I talk those stats, I'm talking about all of Major League Baseball, not just the Astros. Yeah, this is picking the right pitch. If you're going to go as a catcher, pick a pitch where the other catcher really doesn't have a chance to throw.
First Major League stolen base for Jason Castro. First attempt.
Well, he might see more chances if he picks it that well.
Yeah. 1 and 2. Well, often we think it's all about speedy base runners, but not necessarily all the time. 2-2 the count on Carter. High to left field. Let's see if this has enough on it. It's near the line. It's going off that foul pole. No, it's a foul ball. Well, I thought it hit off the pole, Ash, but apparently not.
I loved your enthusiasm one way or the other. I was starting to see it that way when you called it. Oh, that was close.
I have to see how far foul that was. The umpire was rather casual about it.
Oh, heavens, that's close enough to call.
Well, went off the wall behind.
I don't know if Chris Carter got excited at all.
He probably knew it was foul the whole way. Now he takes strike 3. Second strikeout for Furbush. Number 13.
Yep. 13 punch-outs tonight. Now that's that breaking ball from the left-hander that you would think Chris Carter would see quite well.
Now with 1 out, it's Peña. Peña struck out. He's walked twice tonight. Chavez playing him about 5 steps toward left center field. Peña's hit .263 against lefties. Marlins lead the Twins in Minnesota 6-4. And the nightcap of their twin bill. That's a strike. 1-1. Braves 6, Rockies 1. Braves going for a sweep. Justin Upton has homered in both games, giving him 11. Angels 2, Rangers nothing. Top of the 3rd in Anaheim. Jason Vargas on the mound for the Angels. One ball, 1 strike. Rangers beat them last night. The Rangers are 13-6. The Angels are 7-11. Matt Cain gave up 2 in the first to Arizona at San Francisco. It's 2-0 D-backs after 2. And he looks at one upstairs. It's 2 balls and a strike. The Athletics beat the Red Sox in a rain-shortened game, shortened to 7 innings, 13-0. Bartolo Colon goes to 3-0. Seth Smith hits his second homer. Alfredo Aceves is the loser. Pirates shut out the Phillies in Philadelphia 2-0. Jeff Locke the winner over Cole Hamels. Slowly hit to second. Ackley over to first. 2 down. Castro to third base. Brandon Barnes is looking out as the manager will make a pitching change, it appears, to bring in a right-hander to face him. Furbush has 3 outs since he came into the game. Eric Wedge making his way toward the hill. In a 3-1 ball game, he wants a righty-on-righty matchup, and he'll get it right after this. Two outs for the Astros. Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like historic Union Station, the broadcast booth, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 713-259-TOUR to schedule your tour today. Yoervis Medina comes in from the bullpen. He's a right-hander, and it'll be Brandon Barnes facing him. Medina has been in 2 games. And he's given up 2 hits in 2 1/3 innings.
The only 2 games in which he has pitched in the big leagues, so not exactly a veteran at this point, although he has a lot of minor league experience. 29-35 lifetime, a good ERA at 3.84.
He is 24 years old, from Venezuela, listed at 6'3", 245. Last year he was at AA Jacksonville, where he struck out 77 in 69 innings. With a 3.25 ERA. It's Brandon Barnes who got the infield hit off the glove of the diving first baseman Smoke in the 5th inning. For his second trip to the plate tonight. Rick Ankiler's on deck. Each club with 8 hits in this game. The Mariners had the only error. Breaking ball, ball 1 to Brandon Barnes. Medina made his major league debut a week ago tonight against Detroit. Won an inning and a 1/3. He was recalled from Tacoma that day. Stephen Pryor went on the DL. And Pryor is an important man in the bullpen for Seattle. Their relievers have a 2-3 record, a 4.48 ERA. second. Ackley to first. No runs a hit. A runner stranded at third. Through 7. It's 3-1 Astros.
Pitch presented by Steel Dealers. A little bit different twist this time. This is about what Travis Blackley has done with the pitches. Curveball to get the left-handed Raul Ibanez to ground out. There's a theme here. Another breaking ball, more of a slider here for the ground out to Altuve. And a good curveball for strike 3 called. And now the fastball, ball hit sharply, but right at Altuve. So he gets a strikeout and a few ground ball outs, and Travis Blackley with a nice effort.
And because of that, he's still in this game. He has retired 6 in a row. He's been efficient in doing so. And he's still on the hill as the 8th inning arrives, having thrown just 17 pitches in those 2 innings. Kendrys Morales, the switch hitter, turns around to bat right, where he's a 182 hitter. He's 1 for 2 with a walk in this game. And that's foul, strike 1. Well, Blackley last year for Seattle and Oakland was 6-4. San Francisco and Oakland rather was 6-4 with a 4.10 ERA. And he was both a starter and reliever last year. He worked 107 innings. He's pitched in Korea. 1 ball, 1 strike. Speaking of foreign baseball, you didn't happen to read that article about Manny Ramirez playing in Taiwan, did you?
No, I did not. I missed that.
That's a wild league over there, from all accounts.
Well, if they'll take Manny at this stage of things, they must be.
It's a 2 ball, 1 strike.
Does Manny get to be Manny in Korea?
Apparently so.
Well, if he can swing the bat, I don't imagine they'll really care who he decides to act like.
Well, evidently he's doing all right. Not talking a lot to the media. High drive left center field. That's going to go for a while. Wow. That's off those billboards. And Morales has hit number 3 to make it a 3-2 game.
You know how some hitters will take a peek when they hit one standing at home plate? This was a little bit more than a peek. See if we get a shot of that as Kendrys Morales turns around to that right side of the plate and just annihilates one up on the train tracks. Watch this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he saw it. He hit one last night. Batting left-handed. So home runs from each side of the plate in consecutive games, and that's way up there. And that second row of billboards, that is a massive home run.
The Astros have had a chance to try to pick away, pick up a run here and there, and they've been thwarted in that endeavor, and now suddenly one swing gets the Mariners within a run.
Now Michael Morse will be batting next. He's 2 for 3. Hector Ambrose, a right-hander, has been warming up for the Astros. Blackley's thrown 21 pitches. Smoke, who's a switch hitter, is on deck now, and now time is called. Bo Porter may want the right-hander here, especially after seeing that. He's into 8th inning time, and Hector Ambrose has had some 8th inning assignments. But Bo has not made the move yet. He may be wanting the home plate umpire to force him to make this move because he wants to buy some more time for Mr. Ambrose to warm up.
I don't think there's any question. There's nothing going on the hill there.
He takes the ball from Blackley, who goes 2 innings, allowing 1 hit, 1 run with no walks, 1 strikeout, and leaves with a 1-run lead. 3-2. Hector Ambrose will be pitching in just a moment. Out. Hector Ambrose warming up. MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Astros baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. A lot of texting going on right now as the warm-up action involves the right-hander Hector Ambrose coming in with a 1-run lead now, and Morse, Smoke, and Ibanez due up next.
Ambrose 0-1 on the season, 1-4 lifetime in the major leagues. Just 11 in the 3rd innings this year. He's allowed 16 hits. He has walked just a couple, but obviously would love to trim down the hitting against him.
And that begins with Morse, who is 2 for 3 in this game. Ambrose lost the game against the Cleveland Indians on Sunday, 5-4. He threads one in over the outside corner for strike 1. He gave up 1 run in 2 innings in that game. He had a 4-4 score in the 7th when he came in, and then with 2 outs in that inning, Mark Reynolds hit a 3-2 fastball for a go-ahead homer, and Cleveland won by that score. Ambrose had 5 straight scoreless outings before that. It's 1-1. Hector gave up 3 runs in his first trip to the mound this year against the Rangers here April 3rd. Since then, he has a 1.74 ERA over 9 outings. Fly ball outside the right field line, heads for the seats. Rick Ankiel will go over and track it. Out of play. 1-2 to Morse. baseball. He's got the new logo on his T-shirt. He's all set.
Even plays nicely with his friends and shares.
Going to show him how to throw a forkball.
Here's how Mike Scott used to throw that thing.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout. For Ambrose, Morris is down 1 inning. That's 4 strikeouts for Astros pitching. Justin Smoke has singled twice to right and flied to center. Marlins and Twins are in the bottom of the 7th inning now. It's 7-4 Miami. Braves leading 6-1. Bottom of the 8th at Colorado, going for a sweep. Breaking ball in for a strike. How about Shin-Soo Choo? He's been hit by pitches 10 times this year already.
About time to try to get out of the way.
Wow. Popped up. And Dominguez is the only guy who can get this one. And he does. 2 outs. Where the Astros had overshifted on Smoke.
Guess when you're the only guy on that side of the field, there's no need to call it.
No. No, he was very lonely on that one. He didn't have a teammate within 30 yards of him. Ibanez is 0 for 3. He grounded out with the bases loaded in the first, lined out with 2 men on in the third, and grounded out in the 6th inning. Brandon Barnes plays him over in right center field. Strike 1. Raul Ibanez.
Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, has been quite consistent this evening with that low strike call. Like it. I love giving the pitchers a chance at the bottom of the knees there.
0-2. Rick Ankiel is very deep in right field. But you know, he's made several catches this year, Ash, from maybe about that depth, or maybe not quite that deep, on balls that were lined in front of him, and he gets a good jump coming in on balls.
Well, he got a good jump on that popcorn home run ball the other day. Just couldn't quite haul it in at the wall.
One and 2. Day baseball tomorrow. That'll wrap up the homestand for the Astros. They are 2-8 at home this year.
I wonder how the pricing on that home run baseball versus bucket of popcorn played out.
Yeah, we'll have to check. $10.50 we're told for a bucket of popcorn. So it'll be worth it to exchange a baseball for that, certainly. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Guy had it thought out very well.
Depends on how hungry you are. Right?
Well, you know what? You really ought to finish your popcorn before using that bucket to catch the home run ball.
The guy's problem was he didn't bring his glove. He could have had it all. He could have had the glove and the popcorn.
Well, some places you really deal with the exchange rate. Only one guy dealt with it that night.
Lost about half of his popcorn on the warning track.
If that was just half, that is one whale of a bucket.
That was a bottomless bucket. In the dirt. 2-2. Well, the Astros have really been hanging in there in this game. They had that lead on the 2-run homer, on the home run by Gonzalez, and then the hit batsman by Maxwell. They scored 2 in the 3rd inning to make it 3-1. It's been 3-1 ever since, until a few minutes ago when Morales hit the home. But they've had chance after chance. The Astros are 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight, and yet they lead at 3-2. They'll have Ankiel, Dominguez, and Gonzalez due up in the bottom of the inning. Swing and a miss. Ibanez is a strikeout victim, and Ambriz gets 3 in a row. After the Morales home run, makes it a 1-run game. 3-2 Houston. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Gorgeous looking desserts. Right here it's 3-2. The main course has been served, but what's going to be for dessert tonight? The Astros hope a win, and they have the lead already. They try to add to it going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitcher number 5 in the game for Seattle. He is lefty Oliver Perez. Medina got his only man he faced, Barnes, on a ground out. Furbush in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, with no walks, 2 strikeouts. Mariners pitching staff has fanned 13 tonight. Jose Veras warming up for Houston as Perez warms up on the mound.
Oliver Perez has done well this season. 31-year-old left-hander out of Mexico. And on the season, 9 innings of work, just 4 hits allowed and 1 run. Pretty easy to figure out that ERA is right at 1.
He worked in last night's game, the 7-1 win. He worked a hitless inning with a strikeout. And Perez kept himself in play for this game by making it an efficient inning. He faces Rick Ankiel, who is 0 for 3 and gets strike 1. Perez needed only 16 pitches for that inning last night. Perez was a starter much earlier in his career. Last year pitched 33 times for Seattle, all in relief.
Come on, Rick.
He made 30 starts in 04 for the Pirates. 34 for the Mets in 08. No balls, 2 strikes. Both managers going to their lefty relievers against lefty hitters in the lineup tonight. Travis Blackley got 6 out for the Astros and then gave up the Morales home. And Ambriz got the next 3 outs. And it's been Noesi, Furbush, Medina, and Oliver Perez working in relief of Iwakuma. And a strikeout. 1 out in the 8th. 14 Ks for the Mariner pitching staff, which came into this game with an ERA in the road of 5.15. Jose Veras is getting loose. This is Cisnero who just walked by, and he really helped tonight's game by coming in last night and going 3 2/3 in his major league debut. He did not give up a run. Matt Dominguez has a single and a double. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck, taking right-handed swings. Strike for Perez.
14 strikeouts tonight will not help the cause. The Astros started the night leading by 15 in that dubious column of strikeouts offensively.
He swings at it. It's 0-2 to Matt. The Astros in this series last night and tonight combined are 0 for 20 with runners in scoring position. That will all quickly fade away if they get a win in this game, and then they can go for the series tomorrow.
Bottom line is the W's.
Yep. One ball, 2 strikes.
Oliver Perez looks like that arm has gotten better here in recent times. 93 on that heater.
Backhanded. Andino. 2 outs.
Like the way Andino took his time on this play. Sized it up well. Once he makes the backhanded portion, the ball was hit so sharply he knows he has time. Sets his feet, makes a good throw.
Well, back when he came up with the Marlins, they've always raved about his hands and his arm. Man.
Some guys are, it would appear anyway, in watching plays, thinking about highlight reels, but this was just done the way the infield coach would love to see it done.
Marwin Gonzalez, as a right-handed batter, is 2 for 6 this season. 295 for the year now. Hit his 3rd homer batting left-handed in the 3rd inning. This fly ball over Andino's head, heads for left field. Ibanez coming in. Whoa, it's dropped. It's dropped, and Gonzalez is aboard. Right in between Andino and Ibanez.
Well, that outfielder should call off the infielder whenever possible. Error shortstop. Wow.
It's tough, huh?
Woo. I don't know. It's a difficult play. And for me, the left fielder, and it's a 40-year-old in Raul Ibanez, that's the guy that really should be making the play. This is a difficult test.
See his eyes, they were on Andino.
Yep.
Not the ball. He had no idea of taking that play. So for now, it's an error on Andino. And Altuve's the batter. He's 1 for 4. He singled and scored in the 3rd inning when the Astros took the lead with 2 runs. Ball 1 to Altuve. Seattle has committed 2 errors tonight. Third baseman Seager is even with the bag. Fernando Martinez on deck. Altuve moves back, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to Jose. Jose looks at ball 3, 3-0.
Jose was looking into the dugout to see if maybe he had a green light there. Doesn't look like he has any notion of swinging it.
Nope. He just stood up and took ball 4. Didn't even go into his crouch. Altuve draws his 8th walk of the season. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Fernando Martinez will now be called back for pinch hitter Brandon Laird. It's the 4th walk for Mariners pitchers tonight. Martinez was 1 for 4. As Laird comes to the plate, he just arrived a few days ago with the Astros. He's 2 for 12. 1 homer, 1 RBI. Laird getting a chance to join this club and go into the mix at third base and at first base, maybe some left field, some DHing. He was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Got robbed a couple of times Sunday against Cleveland. There's strike 1 to him.
With Altuve, you mentioned that being walk number 8. He is now with 8 walks, 1/5 of the way to the number of walks, 40, that he picked up a year ago. So obviously a nice start, improving in that category.
Yeah, and he's worked the count better this year on other plays. Laird, with a tentative swing, he went for it. It's 0-2. Laird made his Astros debut Saturday night, homered in his second at bat. He swung at that one. That was against the lefty Scott Kazmir.
When he's gotten his fastball, he juices it pretty well. Now the challenge is to see, as the scouts pick up on what you do and the opposing pitchers go after you, can you handle everything on the big league level?
This is his 4th major league stint. At strike 3. Oliver Perez puts up a 0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, and it's 3-2 Astros.
Seattle. It's Earth Week. Walking to work is cheap and eco-friendly. If you can't walk daily, try once a week or commute by bike. Green is universal. There's been a lot of roster moves with this team lately. The guys have been talking about it all game, especially in the bullpen.
Leading it off. Montero's 0 for 3. Ackley and Andino to follow. That's strike 1. Veras worked in last night's game just to stay sharp. He had not pitched in 3 days since he got that save in the 3-2 win over Cleveland. That was Friday night. No balls, 2 strikes. As with closers on teams that are out of the gate slowly, Veras has not had steady work.
Yeah, that's a tough gig. You are so pleased about the opportunity to be a closer. And he's only had 5 saves over his career, and suddenly you just don't get much work, certainly not in that save opportunity situation.
Got him looking.
So when you get one, sure want to be good.
Nice start for him.
3 breaking balls, and that last one just freezes Montero.
No argument from the young catcher. You know, I should say, Ash, he has had steady work in the sense that he's pitched, with a couple days rest in between, no more than that, but just has not had back-to-back appearances until this game. Ackley with a roller. That's out number 2, courtesy Altuve.
It's a funny deal, though, because closers, they know when the team's not coming up with save situations. They still have got to keep you coming in ball games, stay sharp. And yet those are the games that seem, at least by what closers will tell you, to be the most difficult games to keep yourself together and pitch well.
Exactly. And this is the first time he's pitched consecutive days, and just a lack of save opportunities. It's not the same when a closer is not in a save situation. And Dino, the batter now. There's strike 1. There's one left-handed pinch hitter on the bench, Carlos Peguero, an outfielder. And he was just called up today. And Dino's had 30 at-bats this season. Foul ball, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Perhaps a pitch away from win number 6 for the Astros. And the spirited crowd is up for Jose Veras. 32-year-old right-hander from the Dominican. He got him on strikes. And Castro throws him out. The Astros win a hard-fought game 3-2. They have the lead ever since the 3rd inning. They did not get a hit with men in scoring position, 0 for 14. And yet they won it with the pitchers holding on. And for the last 4 innings, the relief corps did do that. Blackley, Ambriz, and Veras allowing 1 run in those last 4 innings. There's the final out. And the Astros win it. Final score 3-2. The Astros beat the Mariners tonight.